Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Yes Network, the home of champions.
It is a sweltering hot Wednesday afternoon here in New York City. Perfect for a baseball game, and also you get a gift. It's a Hard Rock pin. And tonight the Yankees are looking for some hard knocks, put some runs on the board. As Kia Motors presents the Wednesday Game of the Week, the defending world champion New York Yankees against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in the final game of a two-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball along with Paul O'Neill and Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. It wasn't a good start for the Yankees yesterday. It wasn't a good start for Phil Hughes. He gave up the long ball. The Yankees ended up losing 10-2. Simply put, the Yankees couldn't keep the ball in the yard yesterday.
Well, the Angels are known for their speed, but last night they turned on the power against the Yankees. Let's go to the fourth inning, and Meister is Torres. Well, he just got this one out of the park, on top of the fence, and into the seats for a home run, his third of the year. In the sixth inning was Mike Napoli. This is his team-leading 17th home run. Then our old friend, Hideki Matsui, in the seventh. All three of these home runs were two-run homers. 6 of the Angels' 10 runs scored via the long ball.
Well, how do they keep the ball in the park today? Let's look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Joel Pinheiro, 10-6, 3.95 for the Angels. Javier Vasquez for the Yankees, 7-7, 4.45. And Paul, Vasquez is a much better pitcher than the one that started the season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he went into early May with a high 9 ERA, and he's worked it all the way down to the mid-4s. Kind of the complete opposite of Phil Hughes. He got off to a tough start. Now he's kind of coming on. This was his last start in Seattle. You see a lot of off-speed stuff. He's got good command of all of his pitches right now. Good opportunity for him to step up into the rotation with Andy Pettit out.
Absolutely, and the Yankees are really depending on him to continue to give them quality starts. Big crowd expected, and you're expecting a big segment too. Why are we showing a schedule? You have to stick around to find out next on Yes. The moment. That's Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. It's very obvious the American League East is going to be a three-horse race. Yankees, the Rays, and the Red Sox. So we thought it'd be a good time, Kenny, look at the strength of schedule of all three teams, see if one has an easier ride to the end than the other.
Well, not really, Michael. When you look at the graphic, it'll tell you that just about all three teams have the same road to try and win the division and win a wild card. You can see the strength of schedule. 503 winning percentage against the Yankees for their opponents. 498 for the Rays and 506 for the Red Sox. So just about the same. It might boil down to head-to-head. for these three teams. The Yankees play the Rays 10 times, and they also play the Red Sox 10 more times in the second half of the year. Against Boston, the Yankees are 5-3 thus far this year, and against the Rays, they are 4-4. So you can't get much tighter than that as we go to the second half of the season.
Now we want to thank our good friends at Elias for putting that all together. Yankees lead the Rays by 2.5, the Red Sox by 6 games in the American League East. Second game of this short 2-game set. We're ready for baseball. So's that guy. Lineups, first pitch, baseball. Coming up next on Yes. McDonald's. Head to McDonald's for a refreshing large sweet tea on the dollar menu. Price and participation may vary. By Salt in theaters Friday, and by Avis, the official rental car company of the New York Yankees. That's the Great Hall along the first base side of the Yankee Stadium. On the field, the Yankees have taken the field as they will try to split this 2-game set after losing yesterday 10-2. Javier Vasquez taking his warm-ups, and let's take a look at the Angels starting lineup today, presented by our good friends at Lexus. Eric Ibar, the shortstop, will lead off, batting second and playing second. Howie Kendrick. Bobby Abreu, the DH, will hit third. Cleaning up and playing center field, Torrey Hunter. Hideki Matsui in left is going to bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing first base, he's been a Yankee killer of late, Mike Napoli. Juan Rivera is in right field, batting seventh. Batting eighth and playing third base, Kevin Franson. And Bobby Wilson will catch. He's going to bat ninth.
Javier Vasquez gets a start for the Yankees this afternoon, and he has been pitching much better of late. His season record is leveled off. He is now 7-7 on the year. It's a fair record, pretty good drink. ERA 4.45, and you can see opponents hitting just .225 against him. Let's check out our pitcher scouting report on Javier Vasquez. The Angels are flying solo. They are the only team in the major leagues he has never beaten. He is 0-3 in his career against the Angels, so he has a chance to have beaten every team in the league if he wins today. Right-hand batters hitting just .222, and look at that earned run average since May the 12th. That's impressive, 2.75.
Well, we are ready for baseball here at Yankee Stadium. Vasquez against Ibar. It's a hot, steamy day here in the Bronx. And let's do it as the veteran right-hander deals. And that is bunted foul, and we are underway. Ibar has 12 bunt hits on the season, also 28 infield hits. It's what he does, and he does it well.
He squared around like he was sacrificing. He just said, oh, let everybody know if I get it down the way I want, you're not going to get me anyway.
You know, it's funny. A lot of guys will do that to start the game, just to try to bring the third baseman in, and almost as a take mode. And I thought the same thing. And then, Vasquez is going to throw a strike. It looked like he almost tried to make that ball chop off the plate. If you're that good at bunting, you just set him up and then you shoot one to center.
And there's a base hit for Ibar. Let's take a look at the Yankees defense, brought to you by Mercedes. In the outfield, it's Gardner, Granderson, and Swisher. That's left to right. Infield, A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira third to first. Cervelli behind the plate. And Vasquez is on the mound. Here's Howie Kendrick. And the pitch outside.
We talked about the Angels in their excellent team speed. They will run. Javier Vasquez is very good at holding runners. He hasn't allowed a stolen base in 87 and a third innings. He can be very quick to the plate. He varies his times. Ibar has stolen 15 bases in 21 attempts.
That one is grounded to A-Rod. Nice diving stab. He goes to second one. No return. They get the force.
We've talked about day games in any major league stadium. Infielders get a bad read off the bat because it's so bright. Good play, Alex Rodriguez. I mean, in the first inning, to come up with an out there instead of a man on first and second base and nobody out. Big play for A-Rod to help Vasquez.
If you're going to get dirty, you might as well be on a good play, right?
Do it early in the game. Makes you feel like you're into the game.
Now here's Bobby Abreu. He is into his at-bat with Vasquez. Why? Well, he's 24 for 76 against Vasquez and 10 of the 24 home runs.
Wow. Doing your homework over there, Mike.
10 out of 24 home runs.
I know he hit at least one off him in Anaheim this year, maybe two.
Well, you would think at some point you just got to do something completely different. I mean, you've got to go completely the opposite of how you were pitching.
Yeah, I mean, you can usually have good numbers off a pitcher, 10 for 20 or whatever, but when you see power numbers like that, I think you're right, Michael. I mean, you do have to pitch around the guy. The guy just picks up your pitches well, kind of fits the type of hitter you are. Bobby Abreu doesn't, not really a home run hitter, but doesn't come off a lot of pitches, so kind of takes away some of Javi's off-speed pitches.
Yeah, he homered against Vasquez on April the 25th in Anaheim. There was only one in that game.
One. That one's driven to center field. Granderson is there, and he'll put it away for the second out.
That ball was hit pretty well.
Right on the nose again. I mean, we talked about it last night. As a hitter, you can only do so much. You can't aim it. And the difference in this swing and a home run is probably less than a 1/16 of an inch. I mean, he just squared it up completely. If you just miss it a little bit and get it up in the air, it's probably a home run.
Here's Torrey Hunter. And he swings at the first pitch and skies it deep to left center field. Granderson back on the track. He makes the play right at the wall for the final out of the inning. So Abreu and Hunter both gave it a ride, but Granderson ran it down. A 10-pitch inning for Javier. Yankee starting lineup is presented by Lexus. The captain The shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second and playing right field, Nick Swisher. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He's going to bat third. Alex Rodriguez is at third. He'll bat fourth. Check this out, Paul. I'll say the word and it's going to pop out. Robinson Cano at second, bats fifth. Let's go to Juan Miranda, DH. Curtis Granderson is in center. Now, I wonder if they can skip. Brett Gardner's going to bat ninth and play left field. Will they skip over Cervelli? They can't do it.
That, you fooled it.
They can't do it. Anyway, Cervelli's batting eighth and catching, and Gardner's batting ninth and playing left field.
Joe Pinheiro will be on the mat for the Angels today.
You got people in the truck throwing things right now. They can't take it.
31 years old. He's been pitching well lately. He's 10-6. And opponents hitting 263. Let's check out our scouting report on Mr. Pinheiro. He's won 7 straight decisions. He is on a roll. 3 wins for 100 for his career. But his road ERA, he has pitched much better in Anaheim this year. 6.39 road ERA.
And the pitch to Jeter is a strike.
You see one pitch, you see the difference in Joe Pinheiro when I saw him just break in Seattle. Hard fastball, good curveball. Now he's a complete sinker ball pitcher. You start seeing fly balls off the bats of the Yankees, you know they're going to be in good shape today.
Is that because he's had arm problems over the years? You think he's gone to a two-seamer?
I think so. Dave Duncan also has a lot to do with it, who we work with in St. Louis, and that's their belief of pitching. He's keeping the ball in the ballpark right there. That ball's up in the zone. Base hit.
Juan Rivera had a plate on a hop. Let's take a look at the Angels' defense, brought to you by Mercedes. You've seen Rivera in right, Torrey Hunter's in center, and Hideki Matsui gets start in left field. And he's a little shaky defensively with his knees. In the infield, Franson, Ibar, Kendrick, and Mike Napoli. That's third to first. Wilson behind the plate. Pinheiro is on the mound. And Paul, I think you hit it right on the nose. Duncan preaches keeping the ball down in the zone. Just pound the strike zone with pitches low in the zone. And he's turned pitchers around. He really has. And here is Nick Swisher. With Matsui in left, it's his 16th game in left field because Mike Scioscia likes to use that DH spot to give somebody a half day off and didn't want to just lock it into Matsui. That's one of the reasons the Yankees didn't bring back Matsui. They did not want to lock up that DH spot because the Yankees don't feel that Matsui would hold up playing many games in the outfield.
So Bobby Abreu gets a chance to DH today.
Count 2-0. Month of July, it's been all Nick. 355, 4 homers, and 7 ribbies. Had a home run in the first inning last night. Yankees didn't do much offensively. They only scored 1 more run after that. They had their chance in the first inning yesterday. They could not get to Sean O'Sullivan and knock him down. They staggered him. He was against the ropes, but they couldn't apply the knockout blow, and then he really straightened himself out.
Saved by the bell.
There's Sean O'Sullivan.
Had his first win of the season last night. First time the Yankees had ever got a look at him.
And Phil Hughes struggled. Pinheiro, a couple of starts against the Yankees, decidedly different. On April 14th, he got a win, 7 innings, 5 hits, a run, didn't walk a batter, struck out 7. Yankees went to school on him. 10 days later, 6 innings, 11 hits, 6 runs, walked 1 and struck out 2.
Yeah, the win was at Yankee Stadium. The loss was out on the West Coast.
2-2.
This bat has been interesting because he gave up a quick hit to Jeet. Then all of a sudden he started to work him with Swisher a little bit. He ran a ball in, then he had a good sinker away, then you saw a breaking ball in. And you're starting to really see how Pinheiro kind of sets up at bats by never giving him the same look.
Swing and a miss. Went off speed, and Swisher down on strikes. Pinheiro's been unbelievable in his last 8 starts. He's 7-0 with a 2.51. Those are great numbers. Opponents hitting 235 against him. A lot of teams wanted Pinheiro. The Mets made Pinheiro an offer as a free agent, and actually, from what I hear, they offered him a little bit more money than the Angels did. He decided to go to the Angels.
Had a nice talk with Mark Teixeira before the ball game around the batting cage, and we were talking about how Kevin Long kind of tweaked his stance a little bit. He opened it a little more so he gets a better look at the pitcher. And what has happened here is that Teixeira is not swinging at as many pitches out of the strike zone as he was early in the season. Early in the season, he was going for something just like that last pitch. And consequently, as you can see, the stance, the foot is open a little bit more. It gives him a better look at the pitch that's coming. He is second in the league in base on balls now. He's just one off the American League lead. And he's reached base safely in 36 straight games.
You know, a funny thing about a hitting stance is if you're pulling off, and early in the year, Mark Teixeira was definitely pulling off, front hip coming off, you would think that you would just close your stance up and keep you in. Well, it gives you the tendency even to pull off more. So the more that you open up that front hip this way, the more tendency you have to go back towards the pitcher, and it's kind of backwards.
And now it's 37 straight games reaching safely as Jeter around second. He's going to go to third. Teixeira is trying to hustle it into a double, and he does. That's heads-up base running by Teixeira, running hard out of the box. And the way Rivera played it, kind of circled it, he said, I'm going to go for two, and he gets a double.
You know, Rivera hit the deck there and kind of slid into it to make it a quicker play. But, you know, early in the game, it's always good to see guys aggressive. You see Teixeira stay with that ball. That's a ball away, down and away. And if you come off that ball, you're going to just roll over it. Different type of hitter now.
This is his 22nd double of the year on the hustle. You can see Jeter easily to third base, and Teixeira, yeah, he's thinking too about right here. Slipped it into another gear and slides into second base with a two-base hit.
You know, a lot of times as a base runner, you judge your timing on how quick the ball gets to the outfielder. But, you know, when the outfielder is sliding into that play, there is time. You know you've got extra time. He's got to come up with the ball, get up off his feet, and it makes it much tougher to make a good throw.
Here's Alex Rodriguez, had 2 hits yesterday, hitting .274 now, 2 home runs away from .600. And the 1-0. There's a ground ball to short. He's going to get a ribby as Ibar will go across the diamond to get the out. The Yankees lead 1-0 with Jeter scoring.
And you know, the RBI right there goes to Mark Teixeira. I mean, you round first base and stay there. That's probably a double play ball. So, you know, a different opportunity as a hitter with a man on third and second and third and first.
Hey, let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 91 degrees. With the humidity, it feels anywhere from 95 to 100. Not much wind, and there is a forecast of a chance of thunderstorms. Now they're going to intentionally walk Cano and take their chance with Juan Miranda. And also that RBI by A-Rod. Now 20 ribbies in 16 games in July. And this is the 9th time that Cano has been intentionally walked. He was intentionally walked in the first inning yesterday, and it worked out for the Angels as well. So Alex picks up his 74th ribby of the year. And there's ball 4. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. So 10 intentional walks for Cano. He had 14 intentional walks total in the first 5 seasons of his career.
That tells you they're starting to see enough of him this season. Just go on down to first base.
Leave us alone. Juan Miranda picked up 2 hits yesterday. And he's a DH again today. Teixeira at second, Cano is at first. There's a strike. Tampa Bay has jumped out to a 4-0 lead over Baltimore in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That is in Baltimore. A tough loss for the Rays yesterday. Soriano blew the save, and then the Orioles won in extra innings. Red Sox also lost to Oakland yesterday.
You know, Michael, you were just talking about Robbie Cano and how there has been kind of a changing of the guard of who they're pitching around. And last year, you know, A-Rod being A-Rod, you talked about the protection. Give me a guess on how many intentional walks A-Rod had all of last year.
A-Rod, 4.
7. 7 with all last year. So Robbie's on, he's the guy that they're picking out in the scouting meetings. Don't let this guy beat you. And, it's definitely a different lineup the way it's being pitched to this year than it was the past couple years.
Don't you think there's a little bit of a difference to that stat, though? Because Alex Rodriguez might have been pitched around but not intentionally walked. And with Cano, they know they can't pitch around him because he could put any ball in play, so they actually just intentionally walk him. There's a fly ball to center field. Hunter hardly moves. Now comes in a step and puts it away. So intentionally walking Cano works out. The Yankees get a run on 2 hits and 2 left. We played 1. It's 1-0 Yanks. Charged without ever going back to the dugout. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply, and your choices are 1 yes, 2 no. Now we ask you this because of former Yankee Don Mattingly, now the hitting coach for the Dodgers, and he was managing the Dodgers because Joe Torre got thrown out. He makes a trip to the mound to talk to Jonathan Broxton, and you see James Loney ask him a question. Donnie turns around. Now, Bruce Bochy says you can't go off the skin of the mound. You see Donnie about a half an inch off the skin of the mound. They charged him with a second trip to the mound. Broxton had to leave. Sherrill came on, and the Giants ended up winning the game because of that move. And, I'm biased, okay, because I like Don Mattingly. That's a stupid rule. He was hardly off the skin of the mound right there. But I guess a rule is a rule is a rule that once you leave the dirt, you can't go back. It's considered another trip.
I heard him talk about it, and it happened to his pitching coach, I think, when he was in San Diego, and that's why, it's still ripe in his mind. But again, he was called back by one of the infielders.
By James Loney.
Yeah, it wasn't by the pitcher, and it wasn't to stall to get anybody else in there. Your closer's in there, the guy that you want to close the game. So, unfortunate incident for Mattingly, but the way that game went last night, Joe Torre had been thrown out of the game, the pitching coach had been thrown out of the game. So. Kind of a wild night in L.A. last night.
Matsui robbed of a base hit there by Teixeira.
Teixeira smoked a double in the last half of the first and now robs a base hit from Matsui. That ball was scorched. When you hit a ball like this, you feel like you're going to get a hit. Somebody comes up with it and just say to yourself, I hope the rest of the day isn't like this.
Yeah, well, you're 0 for 1. You did everything you're supposed to do.
Man, nice play. Quick glove hand, sprints to the bag, and Matsui just got his feelings hurt.
To me, Teixeira's one of those guys, too, that, didn't come into the game a great defensive player. He just flat out has worked and worked and worked to become a great defensive first baseman. Obviously, he was drafted because he's a switch hitter, had power. The type of numbers he can put up offensively, but he has shown so much defensively over the time that he has been here, and how important it is to have good defense at first base.
Yeah, he was drafted as a third baseman, but the Rangers had Hank Blaylock at the time playing third. Then they moved him to the outfield, and eventually Texas moved him to first base.
Mike Napoli with a fly ball to center, so there are 2 outs, and that's going to bring up Juan Rivera. And finishing up on the Mattingly situation, sometimes rules are interpreted in the spirit of the rule. I mean, when George Brett had that home run taken away from him because of the pine tar, they changed it back because that wasn't the spirit of the rule. I mean, Mattingly was a half an inch off the mound and then turned around to answer a player's question. And you penalize him by making him take the pitcher out, and then they end up losing the game. The Dodgers end up losing a playoff spot by that one game. That'd be an awful way to do it. That's not the spirit of that rule.
Well, the thing about it, maybe another manager wouldn't have caught that, but Bochy had just been penalized by the same thing. Right. So he's aware of it, very aware of it.
Oh. I see, I had a bad angle, Michael. I thought that was coming in the booth.
So I was ready for it.
That's something he's watching for the rest of his career, managerial career. And he sees it and he says, boy, I got a chance to stick it to the Dodgers and I'm the manager of the Giants. Oh.
Michael, you remember that now when you start managing? You get out to the dirt to take the pitcher, talk to him, you can't get off that mound. That'll stay in your mind.
It will never leave my mind. Once it happened to Cap. The 0-2. Fouled away. I mean, you would think that the rule should be once you cross the foul line.
That's not it.
That's not it.
Now the man wants to change the rules of baseball.
I do want to change. That's a rule that it should be once you cross the line, you can't go back over without a second trip.
Well, then if that happens, maybe if you're back in the dugout or the clubhouse.
Or if you leave the ballpark. The 0-2. Grounded softly to second. Cano right there. And that'll do it. So a 9-pitch inning. 1-2-3 for Bobby Vasquez. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Yankees. More information on how to book your next private event at NYY Steak, please contact Mary Gergis at 646-977-8041 or log on to NYYsteak.com.
Kenny, you weren't in the booth that night they brought us a meal.
Oh, you weren't in the booth the night they brought Michael and I a meal.
Ah, see? They bring the good stuff when I was gone? Is that what you're telling me?
The 0-1. Granderson slaps one into center field. Hunter is there. And Granderson now 2 for his last 16.
Torrey Hunter gets some great breaks on fly balls. It always seems that when the ball's hit, immediately he's going in the right direction.
Yeah, and if you're a baseball fan and you'll see what Kenny's talking about immediately in the thing, if you put all the outfielders on a track and you show the fastest guy, that doesn't necessarily mean you're the best outfielders. It comes into instincts. It comes into getting breaks on the ball. And Torrey Hunter, one of the better at getting reads on the ball, taking the angles. I mean, there's so many angles in the outfield, whether you get to a ball or not get to the ball.
Yeah, I would venture to say there are center fielders who are faster than him.
Sure.
But getting that first step going in the right direction is the key to playing a good center field. And he's only won 9 consecutive Gold Gloves. He's got more than the one for every day of the week.
Now, how about this? He's 35 years old. I mean, time has certainly crept up on us. Bobby Abreu is 36. Abreu and Hunter are the 4th and 5th oldest major leaguers to play at least 50 games in the outfield this season. So they got an old outfield out there. Now, the older outfielders are Raul Ibanez, 38. Ichiro Suzuki, 36, as Cervelli goes down looking, and Maglio Ordonez, 36. Time flies. So Cervelli strikes out. Cervelli not hitting well since May 25th, coming into that at bat hitting 196. So 2 down, that's going to bring up Brett Gardner. And a strike.
You know, you talk about the breaks of the outfielder and the angles of an outfielder, and if you look at it, Torrey Hunter starts here, and maybe the ball is hit out in here. You know, the true good outfielders will take that straight line instead of that looping around, and there's so many different ways, you know, to play outfielder, but the only good way is to take those direct routes to the baseball, and it all comes from the reads and the first couple steps you get on the ball. How'd you like that math class, man? Pretty good.
That was good.
Shortest thing to a distance is a straight line, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It would be the shortest distance between 2 points.
I'm taking the point of an outfielder and the point of where the ball is going to drop. Does that count as 2 points? And I'm putting a straight line.
Yes. I think you phrased it the shortest thing to a distance.
I'm a little confused. It's all right. You know.
But your point is well taken. I mean, rather than go a circuitous route,
which a lot of outfielders do, you know, and Bernie Williams, God love him, I love playing with him, but Bernie sometimes would loop out, but he had such natural good speed that he could make up for a lot of them. Where, you know, you'll see other guys that just make these tremendous routes, tremendous straight line to the ball, and that's what that gives you your great Gold Glove outfield.
Yeah, sometimes you make plays harder than they actually are.
Yeah.
And the crowd really loves that sort of thing. Oh, what a great play. Oh, it wasn't that hard.
He should have been there standing up, right?
Well, let me ask you this, though. When you go to the straight line, if you don't get to the ball, it doesn't get past you. I guess when Bernie's looping around, at least you can cut it off.
Again, that comes into the read of the baseball, and that's got to be an instinct that comes immediately. And if you take that straight line and you're beat, then you're in trouble.
Well, Gardner's ground ball was a straight line to Napoli. He then stepped on the bag, and we go to the third. 1-0 Yankees. Here at the stadium, and we go to the third inning on a steamy afternoon in the Bronx. Javier Vasquez has been hot so far. 2 zeros put up, and he's going to face 8, 9, and 1 in the Angel order, starting with Kevin Franson. And Vasquez deals. There's a strike now in the 3rd inning. On hot days like this, we like to torment Kim Jones and put her in the crucible of heat down on the 3rd base dugout side. How you doing, Kim?
It's crisp and cool. What are you talking about?
You look very, very fresh and cool, so no problems at all. A ground ball to Jeter, and Franson is out. Let's talk at the start about Curtis Granderson. Now, I asked Joe Girardi a question before the game. You know, because the Yankees have the best record, sometimes that acts as a deodorant to things that aren't going that well. You look at Curtis Granderson, he's having a bad year, Kim.
Yeah, he's batting .232, Michael, 22 points lower than he was this time last year. Also has 12 fewer home runs at this point. Curtis Granderson just 2 for 16 with 6 strikeouts since the All-Star break. The week before the break, though, Michael, he hit .346 on that West Coast swing. I talked to Kevin Long about that. He said, what we're noticing with Granderson, the more he plays and puts together consecutive outings in center field, the better he hits, as Bobby Wilson sends one that Granderson can't get to, a single for Wilson. But Curtis Granderson said to me, I don't want to say I'm struggling. I think I haven't got hot yet. Long said, well, he definitely hasn't gotten hot yet, but I like the positive approach. And you heard what Girardi told you, Michael, of course, since you asked the question. He said he can hit better, he can play better than he's been playing, but he has hit some balls hard. So Curtis Granderson needs to get him going, but, you know, right now they're taking a positive approach.
I understand what Girardi's doing. That's a smart thing to do, and Granderson's not beating up on himself. But when you're hitting .232 and you're almost at the end of July, you're not having a good season. And I think that he has not provided anything close to what they thought he was going to give them.
Yeah, and Michael, 3 weeks into April, you wouldn't have said that. I believe he was hitting .313 or so. And then over 56 games since then, just .215. The difference, he missed most of May with the groin. Obviously, everyone missed time over the All-Star break. But you're right. He needs to get it going, and he has a chance now. The Yankees have 36 games in the next 37 days. If someone wants to play a lot, he'll get the chance over the next month.
Ibar with a fly ball to right field, fairly deep. Going back is Swisher on the track. He makes the play. Now, we know Vasquez is dealing to Cervelli. This is a combination that looks like it's working.
It is, and the best news for Javi Vasquez, we're not asking Joe about him all the time. As Joe said, sometimes that's a good thing for a player, that I'm not being asked about him. And Cervelli tells me that Vasquez absolutely has an idea what he wants to do every pitch, but he will take suggestions, especially between innings, from Cervelli. Cervelli appreciates that. He loves working with Vasquez. He also says, by the way, it can't get hot enough for him behind the plate. Something tells me Cervelli likes the weather today.
I'll tell you what, Kim, it's frigid up here in the booth. The air conditioning is just booming out of the vent, so maybe you should come on back up.
That's good to hear. I'll be up there. I just worry about you guys, I'll be honest.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
We'll see Kim a little bit later on the postgame. Yeah, it's that sort of day.
Michael, tell me, I might be mistaken here, but anytime you talk about a player's year and deodorant in the same sentence, that's not good, right?
Well, I meant it as a euphemism, really, but yeah, I guess you could say that. But now,
he's just trying to say he's having a stinky year. That's what he's trying to say.
Well, Girardi actually brought you up.
Oh, he
said
did.
Because Granderson has hit the ball on the screws a lot. He said there are a lot of players. He said, and Michael, you're sitting next to one up in the booth. I don't think he meant Kenny. That could tell you every hard line drive he ever hit that was caught.
I can remember a few of them. Still trying to figure it out.
I can remember a few too.
The 0-2. High fly ball, right center. Curtis Granderson drifts over, makes the call, makes the play. And another quick pitch inning, 9 pitches for Vasquez, and the Angels don't score. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. coming up against the Kansas City Royals. And then on to the road, Cleveland 4, and then Tampa Bay 3. They just played Scandals the Warrior on the scoreboard. They showed Paul, who got a nice hand. I wonder if they saw the broadcast yesterday, they'd call you the Warrior. You did not have that attitude
Come on,
yesterday.
now what happens in the booth got to stay up here, right? Isn't that what we were talking?
This isn't Vegas.
There was a little whining in the booth last night. And I wasn't alone, believe me.
No, it was some fine wine up here. That was, bottom line, that wasn't a great game yesterday. The Yankees didn't play well and didn't get great pitching. They lost 10-2, but you're sharp today, Paul. You're ready. Jeter singled in the first and scored. There's a ground ball deep to short. Ibar can't handle, follows it up and fires it past Napoli. And Jeter will reach. We'll see how they score that. Can they give him a base hit?
Talked to Jeet before the game. I said, you hit a couple balls hard yesterday. Could have easily been 2 for 4. But all of a sudden, you hit a couple balls hard. You hit them in the hole. And now you're 2 for 2. Then you roll.
I told him before the game, I saw him around the batting cage, too. I said, you almost killed Ibar last night. That one ball you hit to him, he didn't want to talk about it.
I know.
He didn't want to talk
about the outs, right?
No, he didn't want to talk about it at all.
That's just Jeter's third multi-hit game since June 28th, so it has not been a great month for him, but he's 2 for 2 today. Here's Swisher, who struck out in the first inning on an off-speed pitch. Now 1-0. You see where Lou Piniella, who said he's going to retire at the end of the year, at a press conference yesterday, and he said the favorite player that he ever managed was Paul O'Neill? I am right. Just wanted to get your reaction.
Oh, my goodness.
See, if you'd have told me that last night, it'd have gone right over my head.
Yeah, last night we were talking about the teams we played well against.
Now, I'll tell you one thing, though. You might not like this. But you'll like that. Ground ball inside first and down the right field line. Swisher rounds first, he's going to second. Derek Jeter held up at third. It's a double for Swisher. And the Yankees are set up, runners on second and third. And nobody out.
Juan Rivera in right field almost made a big mistake there. As this ball's going to be drilled down the line. It was the middle of the play, and Swisher gets the head out. Has himself a 2-base hit. But Juan Rivera is going to pick this up in the corner, and he's going to throw to second base. He should be. He knows this is a double. Even on Yesmo, you can see that.
Sure double.
Sure double. You want to keep Jeter at third base. He's throwing the ball to second. So he should be throwing the ball towards home.
Right, and you'll see Ibar, he makes a good play because he's not even set up at second. So sure double, as a right fielder, that your only thing is to hit the cutoff man behind first base in case there's a play at the plate.
Here's Teixeira. Hot shot foul. The Angels playing the infield back as runners on second.
You got 2 right fielders sitting up here, so this right field is going to get a lot of scrutiny
Don't
today.
make any mistakes out there today. What were you telling me, Michael?
I was just going to say that you might not like this. I think that you and Piniella, opposites attract and likes repel. You're the same player as Lou Piniella. That's how Lou Piniella played.
We got a lot of grief from the press.
That one is ripped into right center field. It is a base hit. 2 runs will score. Teixeira with a 2-run single, and the Yankees are up 3-0.
Well, they talk around the batting cage. Teixeira told me that the best hitter he has ever seen that had ball strike recognition was Chipper Jones when he played with him with Atlanta. And he recognized that for a high strike and rips it to the gap. Torreira gets it in quickly to hold him to a single. But
it's amazing. You see that ball up in the zone. Everything's a little more quiet. Front hips in there, but it's amazing as a sinker ball pitcher with Pinero is now. You get the ball up in the zone, you lose all the sink on the baseball. It kind of just tails away. Great pitch for a hitter to hit. And there's such a fine line as a sinker ball pitcher. Everything has to be down.
1-0 to Alex Rodriguez. Had an RBI ground out in the first. Still nobody out here in the third. That one is drilled deep to left field. Going back is Matsui. On the track, he makes the play. And Teixeira will head back to first. off the end of the bat for A-Rod. He gave it a ride to the warning track, but not deep enough.
And he did have the swing, but he just didn't connect on the lumber. Maybe a little too quick. You can see just off the end of the bat. Maybe a little bit closer to the middle of the bat, and this one's in the seats. He thought it had a chance, maybe other ballparks, but not here.
Yeah, on a hot day, if you put a charge into one, you usually get good carry, but it was just enough off the end of the bat. You said, Michael and Kenny, that it's just not going to jump for you.
Here's Cano. 1-0. Cano intentionally walked in the first.
That's about a 2 or 3 inch difference. That fly ball to the warning track or a home run.
At Camden Yards, he has his 598th home run there. Pitch outside, and Wilson will go out and talk with Pinheiro. All right, so finish up. Do you think that you could see the similarities between you and Pinheiro?
I think that, what we did on the field somewhat, some of our anger problems, some of our anger issues came out. But, yeah, I mean, I have respect for Lou. He had respect for me. But the media loved to run with that kind of stuff. And then, playing against him as a manager, again, it became a little frustrating. But, I still speak to Lou when I see him. And, he'll be in the Hall of Fame someday, probably.
High fly ball, deep right center. Hunter looking up. See ya! 2-run home run into the Yankee bullpen. And the Yankees lead 5-0.
Told you, Pinheiro's been pitching much better in Anaheim than he has on the road. And the road certainly is the East Coast. It's a long way from Anaheim to here. And this one's a long way into the bullpen at right center field. Cano kind of knows it. It's a good feeling, isn't it, Paul?
Again, you said if you see a lot of fly balls, things are going to be good today, and you have. You've seen a lot of pitches up in the zone, a lot of fly balls, and this is baseball at its best, because you just figure out you come into this series, you're facing a rookie, you'll probably tear him up. But Pinheiro's throwing really well. Well, then last night the rookie comes back, shuts you down, and all of a sudden you throw a 5-spot up in the 3rd inning here against one of the league's best, hottest pitchers.
How about Cano against Pinheiro? He's now 9 for 14 lifetime against Pinheiro, and this year he is 6 for 7.
Yeah, that is why he was walked intentionally in the 1st inning.
The 2-0. Shattered bat and the ground ball to second. Kendrick for the second out.
We'll talk about Abreu having success against Vasquez, Cano having success against Pinheiro, and it's those left-handed hitters that kind of cover the baseball, don't pull everything, that can handle that sinker, and all of a sudden, you'll hang a breaking ball or a changeup, and they'll pull them for home runs. It's a style of hitting and the style of pitching that are good matchups for those hitters.
And there's a strikeout to strike to Granderson. And that's lofted into left field. Late jump by Matsui, and that's a base hit. Matsui is frozen there, and that was a ball that I'm sure the Angels thought should have been caught. So a base hit for Granderson. He'll take it.
Yeah, he might have taken a false step backwards. And at this stage of his career, Matsui cannot recover to make the play. Off the end of the bat, you can see 1 step back. That means you have to make 2 forward to make up for it, and he comes up 2 short.
And Michael, we talked about with Kim Jones down there about Granderson, the year he's having, and as a player, when you're having that off year, you can only hope that your team is having a great year in first place, and you have a wild throw.
Granderson will stop at 7.
It takes so much pressure off you, and if the Yankees were, 5 games back now, you'd hear a lot more grief about the type of year that Granderson's having. And it's you're lucky. You're lucky to be on a team that's in first place when you're having an off year.
So that's an E1 on Pinheiro. And we joked about it. That's what I meant by a deodorant. When a team is playing well, it does obscure the fact that guys might not be having great years. And Derek Jeter's not having a great year, but you don't talk about it because the Yankees have the best record in baseball. And Granderson is struggling. You don't talk about it.
The Jeter's not deodorant, it's cologne.
That's right. With his own logo and name on it, too.
This is unusual for Vasquez. Yankees have 5 runs on the board, and they've been averaging just 3.9 runs per game for him this year.
You mentioned Cervelli hasn't been hitting for a while, but these are the situations where he has been at his best this year, hitting with runners in scoring position.
Twelve for 24 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position for Cervelli. And there's a strike.
Guy that really loves to use right back up the middle, kind of that's what he thinks about with men in scoring position. Doesn't try to do anything else. Get the guy in from second.
And now the count 3-1 with Gardner on deck.
I don't see that Pinheiro has found one pitch that he can go to when he needs a big pitcher. And out right now, his sinker's been up, his curveball's been erratic.
That's what O'Sullivan did last night. Went to the changeup.
Cervelli helped him a little bit there. That ball up and out of the zone. O'Sullivan right there. He can go out, show him what to do. Throw changeups every pitch. See that ball up in the zone, so tailing back out of the plate.
Boy, it looks like Cervelli's changed his stance a little bit. He's got all the weight back on the backside, and his front foot just straight out. Looks a little bit different than he did at the beginning of the year.
You see those last couple of pitches. I mean, he's trying to hold that ball. And when he was successful earlier in the year, especially in these positions, you know how many ground balls he hit up the middle just to knock guys in. And those last 2 pitches, so he's coming around the ball, pulling it foul, so just saying through it and just hitting it right back at the pitcher.
There's a ground ball at third. Franson will get Cervelli, and that'll do it in the third. But the Yankees get 4 runs on 5 hits, and it started with Derek Jeter, then Nick Swisher. Mark Teixeira chipped in, a 2-run home run for Cano. At the end of all that offense, it's 5-0 Yankees. Line quiz. Javi Vasquez has defeated every current major league team except for the Angels, who are the only active pitchers to defeat all 30 teams. We'll find out in the bottom of the 4th. A sign of a matinee. A lot of day camps here. All the kids with the same color T-shirts.
I know there's one inactive pitcher that Al Leiter did that, didn't he? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good friend Al.
Yes,
he
did.
Beat every team. Oh, you hate to be a counselor today.
I have a feeling this weekend the three of us are going to be like camp counselors with the same color shirts.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's getting a little warm, isn't it? But imagine being a counselor. All you do all day is just count kids.
Yep.
Did we lose anybody?
1-1.
Yeah, if you're not here, speak up, huh?
I remember one day my dad took 13 of us to a ball game, and he couldn't enjoy it. All day long, he just counted kids.
Abreu lost one to right center field. Long run for both. They can't get there. It lands between them, and Abreu picks himself up a double. Hung up there for a while, but Granderson and Swisher could not get there. Now they are talking with each other.
Abreu's a kind of a tough hitter to defend because he hits the ball all field. So the gaps are wide because everybody's just about straight away. And although he doesn't really drill this one, he puts it in a good spot, just about equidistant between Swisher and Granderson, and it falls in.
Did you get the sense they're both looking at each other?
Well, yeah, every once in a while as an outfielder, you've run, 10, 15 steps and you expect the other guy to be there. Then all of a sudden you look at him and he's looking at you, and you're right. You end up taking kind of a funny route to the ball. But that ball was hit off the end of the bat, like you said, and it just hangs up there a little bit longer.
Who's your center fielder in Cincinnati?
Eric Davis, one of the best.
Right.
Yeah, he was defensively a great center fielder. Bernie was a good center fielder. I was very fortunate to play some good defensive players.
That one's popped up behind the plate. Cervelli near the screen makes the play as they retire Torrey Hunter.
Some of your center, you had Don Buford, right?
No, Paul Blair.
Oh, Paul Blair.
Junior. He only won 8 Gold Gloves.
That's all.
And Al Bunbury, a guy with great speed. So my range in right field is about 4 or 5 steps. Yeah, outside of that, it was all them.
I used to kind of walk circles out there and, kind of wear a little dirt area out there in the old stadium. And I would tell Bernie on given nights, Bernie, I got everything in this little dirt spot. Everything else is yours. Bernie would just smile. He probably didn't even know what I was talking about.
Vasquez has thrown 32 pitches, 26 of them strikes. Here's Matsui.
He's got the Angels putting the ball in play early in the count, so he's having low pitch innings.
Sometimes as hitters, like certain guys throwing strikes, they have good control. No reason to really go up there and work the counts. It's only going to put you in a situation where, you're going to be in a defensive mode if you're throwing strikes. So it's knowing your pitchers who will pitch themselves into trouble and who just is going to continue to throw strikes.
Count 2-0. No Angel batter today has seen more than 4 pitches.
Vasquez in his start against Seattle, his last start before the break, had a great changeup, and he was getting swing and a miss, time and time again on his change. I don't think his change is as good today, but his curveball's good, and he's throwing his fastball where he wants to.
A good changeup. Looking back, a really good changeup. The hardest pitch to hit. You don't pick up the spin like you do on a curveball or a slider or a good sinker. You can pick up the spin, a fastball. You said last night there's nobody here in the major leagues that can hit a fastball in a good position, in a good location. So if you look back, a good changeup, probably the hardest pitch for a hitter to recognize and put a good swing on. But vice versa, a bad changeup, there's not a better pitch to hit. If you kind of give it up, give it away, where the hitter picks it up and it's up in the zone, those are the ones that end up in the seats.
Yeah, it comes up there like a big old cantaloupe.
That one's driven out to left field. Gardner makes the play on the warning track as Matsui really gave it a ride. Well, tomorrow the Yankees kick off a 4-game set with the Royals right here at the stadium. Complete coverage starts at 6 with batting practice today presented by Audi, and then the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Ken, Paul, and I are back with the call. Royals-Yankees tomorrow at 6, only on Yes.
Kenny, they're inviting us back tomorrow. They like that.
I love baseball.
Yep. Michael, you're a given. I just thought Kenny and I might just, we had to earn our spot tomorrow or something.
Boy, I am so not a given. Here's Napoli. Popped up. Teixeira makes the play in foul territory for the final out. An 11-pitch inning for Vasquez as the Angels waste a leadoff double. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit Kia.com. By Hager, established 1926. Your own great moment starts at Hager.com. And by KFC. So good. Pitch to Brett Gardner is up and away, 1-0 as we start the bottom of the fourth inning with the Yankees up 5-0. Yankees with 7 hits, the Angels with 3 against Vasquez, the 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1.
That little track we just saw out there. See you after the game, going over get a few laps in before dinner, huh?
How about the two of us going in a match race?
Easily, huh? I'll run in my suit.
In your loafers. Count 1 and 2.
You in on this, Kenny?
No.
Come on.
No. You know, all I worry about is being able to walk 18 holes. I don't have to run marathons anymore. I have to run to first base, try and beat out a double play. I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore.
Tap back to the mound. Pinheiro. And there's one away. All right, let's take a look at the answer to the New York State Smokers Quick Line Quiz. The question is, Javi Vasquez has defeated every current baseball team except for the Angels, who are the only active pitchers to defeat all 30 teams.
One of them has to be Jamie Moyer.
Yeah, he's 100, so he's got to face everybody, right?
Yeah.
And Barry Zito.
Yeah.
Barry Zito. Yeah, I wouldn't have got that one.
Now, the only other pitchers to have done that played for the Yankees, Kenny mentioned one of them, Al Leiter, Kevin Brown, Terry Mulholland, and Randy Johnson.
A lot of left-handers in there. You notice that?
Yeah, they stay around. For some reason, those guys stay around a long time. Terry Mulholland.
You know what? He had such a good pickoff move. That he went like 5 years and nobody attempted to steal.
Jeter fights that off and squeezes it up the middle for a base hit. Jeter is 3 for 3.
All right, Jeter. We don't want to hear anything else about that hard ball you hit yesterday. You're 3 for 3. So you can laugh about it.
Listen to the pot calling the kettle black. Wow.
Look at that. But you know he did everything right. He pulled his hands in.
Pulled that elbow in.
Fought it off. Eyes light up, hoping it's going to find a hole up the middle.
Get out of here.
Ouch.
Fell backwards. Still got himself a hit.
You know, when you play a home run derby early in the back street, that's an out. You know, the ball has to at least hit the outfield before it's considered a hit, right?
Here's Nick Swisher. Grounded foul. By the way, that's Jeter's 7th 3-hit game of the year.
We talked about teams that we hit well against. Swisher's in his career has only hit .214 against the Angels. Hit a few home runs against them, but his batting average has been low. Today he's 1 for 2.
And now he's 2 for 3.
He's on the comeback against the Angels.
It's a different uniform now. You know, you play that it used to be in Oakland, that's kind of your rival.
Now, can you think of the team that you didn't hit well against?
Oh, there was a lot of them. That's what it was. See this ball out over the plate. Good curveball, but not tight break on it. You know, Pinheiro, if you ask him, it's just nothing is working his way today. Doesn't have a good sinker, doesn't have a good curveball. Can't string together 3 or 4 good pitches to get a major league hitter out today. You know, he's continued to make one mistake in an at bat, and that's costing you, some big innings.
Teixeira takes a strike. Teixeira's 2 for 2. He had a double in the first, a hustle double to right center, and then a 2-run single to right center in the third.
Yankees have 9 hits in the game. The first 3 hitters in the order have 7 of them. So these are the 3 that have given Pinheiro trouble today.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Can we get you to read a disclaimer this week?
I was just wondering, you're a little selfish. You just do that every day. You didn't even ask us. Huh?
You can read it tomorrow, okay? As long as it's read well, because if you stumble, then it's illegal.
Well, I'm taking it home with me to study. We talked about the Gettysburg Address yesterday in our telecast. I'm going to go home and memorize that tonight.
The 0-2 in the dirt, blocked by Wilson. Now, you always said, well, you didn't struggle at all against, and you struggled against a lot of teams. You did not have a career batting average lower than .272 against any American League team.
That's pretty good.
But you had a .200 batting average against the Padres.
200? I thought that was one of my best teams.
That one is driven to left field, and it is a fair ball. Bounces up against the wall in the corner. Scoring is Jeter. Swisher goes to third, and Teixeira is at second with a double. Let's take a look at the pitch-by-pitch on that at bat, brought to you by Suzuki Kizashi.
Well, Teixeira is now 3 for 3. First fastball's in there for a strike. He takes it. Had a good swing it down, but fouled it back. He's in the hole. Doesn't chase the breaking ball. They're going away again, and this time he says, I'm going to go with it. That sinker, I'm going to take it into the left field corner. It's a fair ball. He gets himself his 3rd run batted in of the ball game, as he has a former teammate, Matsui, chasing the ball in the corner.
You talk about Pinheiro today, and even at right there where he has Teixeira 0-2, cannot throw a good enough pitch to get it out there. He missed with his curveball out of the zone, and then he left the fastball up and away again. And, you need to, against good hitters and guys, Teixeira's playing the bat as well as he has all year, you need to make 3 or 4 good pitches in that bat to get it out.
Infield is in. A-Rod 1-0 count. He is 0 for 2, but he has an RBI. Last time, drove Matsui back to the warning track and left. Grounded foul. Now, Paul, you were absolutely right. Your memory was correct. I misread the note. You had a .200 batting average against the Pirates, and you did own the Padres.
See? Got me all confused.
And for you, Kenny, your lowest team, the Astros.
That was in the National.
Yeah,
you can't see in the Astrodome anyway. I can understand that.
Now, I would think in the American League, which was my memory is most vivid, it was the Chicago White Sox.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
I never played in the old Comiskey. Is that
258.
It was dark in that place.
Was it? Wasn't a good place to hit?
It was like hitting in a coal mine.
That's not good. Not that I've been in a coal mine, but I couldn't imagine hitting down there. Huh? Michael, give me, who'd you used to hit well?
Nobody. That's why I'm up
Come
here.
on, you had one team that you owned. What are some of the names from those Little League teams? Come on, throw one out there.
Barcliff Getty. The 1-2. Grounded softly to short. They're going to hold Swisher up at third, and A-Rod is out for the second out of the inning.
Owned them, didn't you?
I was actually on Barcliff Getty.
Oh.
Here's
so
Trevor Bell pitch yesterday.
As well.
So in other words, you got a lot of hits of batting practice against your own team.
You should hear what the guys in the truck are telling me to do right now. They said, you should turn around and hit him. And go, I hit you well. They are going to intentionally walk Cano again. Third time this series. And the way they figure, you know what? Juan Miranda, show us something. We know what Cano's about. Just did a 2-run home run his last at bat. We're going to walk him again.
You know, Kenny, I can look back at being walked intentionally. A lot of times it was the lefty-righty matchup, and it does. All of a sudden, you start thinking up in I'm doing something good. It is a kind of a pat on the back, and I mean, take me back when they would walk you intentionally. It's not like you get mad because it's a situation, and it does kind of congratulate you for being a decent hitter.
Yeah, it's like confirmation of something that you probably already know.
Yeah.
But how'd you feel when somebody was intentionally walked in front of you?
Well, that's a challenge. It is, and you don't go up there with that attitude. I'm going to show you. Because most of the time it is the situation in the game where they're going to bring a left-hander in and they've got a base open. They got to set up a double play. But anytime, they do that, it does face. You do face a bigger challenge. And I tell you what was even worse is where they hit the guy in front of you and you thought it was intentional. That's where you really dig in as a hitter and try to make it hurt, because you hate to see guys in your team hit when you think it's intentional and then you make an outlet behind it.
So here's what Miranda's got this challenge in. Now, with 2 outs, they've just walked it home for the second time. First time it worked because he flew out to center field.
Count 2-1. Now 3-1. There's no place to put him.
Should get a pretty decent pitch to hit here.
Mike Scioscia's doing all he can. He's got a big series with Texas coming up. You hate to get in your bullpen this early in the game. You've got a veteran pitcher that's been on a roll. You're going to try to get every inch out of you can to try to set up that next series against the Rangers.
Grounded to second. So Pinheiro made the big pitch right there, and that will do it. But the Yankees get another run on 3 hits, and the bases are left loaded. We go to the 5th. It's 6-0 Yankees. We'll hear from Bob a little bit later on, and on the postgame show with Jack Curry and Kimberly Jones on the Kia scoreboard. It's all Yankees as they lead this one over the Angels 6-0. Then we go to the 5th. And it'll be the bottom third of the Angels order: Rivera, Franson, and Wilson.
Michael, talking about the Angels, and as Paul mentioned, they are going to Texas to play the Rangers. Before the game, I saw the Angels GM, Tony Reagans. They play Texas 14 times between now and the end of the season.
Well, then they have no kick coming.
Exactly. They got to do it.
You know, and this is an outing that Pinheiro will look back at and think, you know, I had nothing, I've given up runs. But, you know, as a pitching coach or a manager, you can sit him down on the bench and explain what's going on. Let me get as many innings as I can out of you. And you can still come out with a positive feeling of, you know, I've helped this team. I've kind of set up for the next series where I didn't, you know, go 2 innings and give up 6 and burn our bullpen also. So sometimes when you have games like this, as a starting pitcher, especially a veteran pitcher, and if you can get your team late into the game, you know, you can still come out of the game knowing you didn't have great stuff. You gave up too many runs, but you got your team through the game.
We're in the 5th. It's 6-0 Yanks. Pitch low. Pretty good matchup tomorrow against Texas. Cliff Lee against Jared Weaver. Three-two. Oh, what a play! And he caught the helmet too. That's big league. That is quite a play.
We need this in slow-mo. Look at that.
And the helmet comes off, doesn't hit the ground. On Yesmo.
There it is. Look at that. Doesn't even have a number on his back. You get a number tomorrow for that play.
He might get a contract in a minute.
You know what that might be? I mean, this is going to be big. The 3-2. That might actually make web gems on SportsCenter. Imagine if a ball boy made a web gem.
When the old day, the pod, the play of the day?
Yeah. You think that's play of the day? Is that good?
I tell you what, it's going to be up there. I'll tell you one thing. Have you ever seen the ball boys in San Francisco?
Aren't they like 80 years old?
Yeah, and half of them like bend over to get the ball and they fall over, and it just becomes more of, you know, if they catch it or if they keep their balance more so than whether anybody gets hurt then.
You know, one day you're going to get old.
Oh, we're already there. We're halfway there, believe me.
And the 3-2. Just got a piece to stay alive. So if it makes web gems, you have anything to say to the people in SportsCenter?
The man needs a number on his back, so at least, and we do need a name and an address up here too.
His name is Terrence Rocker. That's a big league name,
Terrence
too.
Rocker.
Oh, yeah.
Let's call him T-Rock, just off that play. Grounded, past A-Rod, and down the left field line.
T-Rock could have just got that one, too, and thrown him out at second.
And Gardner will get the ball in. So Juan Rivera leads off with a double. Well, we're going to look at that play by T-Rock on the Coors Light freeze cam. Oh, yeah. All right. Freeze it. He's up in the air. Look at that. T-Rock. Sweet. Did it with grace, too. You want to draw a number on there, Paul?
You know what?
21.
I love it.
And that's a big number. You got to be worthy of a 21. So here is Franson with Juan Rivera at second. Now that at bat by Rivera was a 9-pitch at bat. That was more than Vasquez has thrown in 3 separate innings today, just to that one batter. Bunted, foul.
Rivera's been a tough hitter of late. He's 14 for his last 31, and that's when you're hitting well, you go deep and the foul pitch is off and keep your bat going, and then you get one you can hit, and then you smoke it somewhere. Franson was actually claimed by the Angels from the Red Sox back in April. Playing third base. He can also play second.
Michael, you were talking about Texas being the big thing in, and looking up at Tampa Bay lost a horrible game last night in Baltimore, and then you see they were up 4-0 today, and now you look up in the 6th inning, it's 4-4 again. So they're having their struggles too, trying to stay with the Yankees.
Snap throw to second, diving back is Rivera.
Now, didn't they have the lead twice in extra innings last year and gave it up?
Going into the 9th, and then they also scored at the top of the 12th one and then gave up 2 in the bottom, I think. Those are tough games. When you're chasing a good team like the Yankees who win a lot of games, you have an opportunity. You're playing a team, a subpar team in the Orioles. I mean, everybody knows the type of year they've had. And you get a lead. Those are the games that kind of haunt that you should have won. Those games are much tougher looking back than the games that you get beat 10-0. You just get your brains beat out. You can turn the page on them real easy.
There's nothing you could have done to win that game.
Right.
I just got clarification on Terrence's name. It's not Rocker, it's Roker.
Roker.
So, pronounced Roker.
T. Roker, that's all right.
T. Roker.
T. Roker.
So he could be either a ball player or a weatherman.
Yeah. There's a line drive, base hit to left field. Rivera rounds third. He is going to score as Gardner throws to second. It's an RBI single for Franson, and the Angels are on the board. It's 6-1 Yankees. Well, the Royals come into town, and when the Angels leave, and let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Fios TV, Internet, and Phone. This is Beyond Cable. This is Fios. Bruce Chen will go for the Royals, 5-3, 4.06, and CC Sabathia at 12-3, 3.13. Our coverage begins at 6 on the Yes Network.
12-3. Any way you look at that, that's good. You know that?
And today, by the way, is CC's 30th birthday, and those are the 4-game starters. Bannister, Burnett, Davies and Mitre, LaRue and Hughes.
It's so fun how you get in a rhythm of things as a player. And Kenny, I don't know if you still remember, but I mean, Mondays were travel days. Thursday were travel days. It was very unusual to have a Wednesday day game that's a travel day. I mean, but with a 2-game series and then a 4-game series, very uncomfortable for players. Not uncomfortable, but just unnatural to have a Wednesday day game and come back for a 4-game series on Thursday.
Well, maybe the Yankees, the home team decides the time of the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe knowing that the Angels had to go all the way to Texas.
Kind of helped them out a little bit.
Yeah, helped them out a little bit. When the Yankees are on the West Coast, those Sunday games usually start an hour earlier on the West Coast, and like 12:30 instead of or a half hour earlier. That gives the Yankees a chance to get back east a little quicker.
I'll tell you what, looking back at those years, going through the 90s, I don't know how many times we would be out on the West Coast, and what you're saying was true. The game was 12:30, 1 o'clock, and the next thing you know, you'd get picked up for a nationally televised game, and it would end up being an 8 o'clock game or a 5 o'clock game out on the West Coast, and what a huge difference it would make with our travel. I mean, you're coming back here. I meet my kids going to school. You travel all night. And, you know, over the course of the last couple months of the season, days like that, you know, they can take a lot out of a team.
And I think that's one reason why the Yankees are pretty happy they don't have to go to the West Coast anymore this year.
You always look at those West Coast trips, and especially when in the old days we used to make 3 trips out there. You know, you wanted to know when that 3rd trip was to get it over with and know that you were, you know, in the middle of the country or on the East Coast the rest of the year.
Yankees are done with their West Coast swings, and they were done with it right before the All-Star game. So last year I think they had one in September. They had 2 in the second half of the season. 3-1. Foul back, although it worked out. They won the World Series.
I think they went to Seattle twice within a month. And that's about as far away as you can get in this league from New York.
Runner goes. Punch foul.
Still an aggressive team. That might have been ball 4. Let's see here. Wilson. That's too close to take.
Yeah. As a hitter, you know, you get in that protect mode. 3-2, you know, you're looking for a good pitch, but anything close, all of a sudden your mind just says swing.
Fly ball, right side, and out of play. Vasquez really working this inning. 3-2, runner goes. That one is drilled to left and foul. Great ratio, 60 pitches, 44 strikes.
That's coming off a great effort in Seattle. I would venture to say, of all the Yankee pitchers following the All-Star break, he's had the best successive starts from previous to starting up again.
That one is drilled deep to left field. Going back, Gardner. He's on the track. He's at the wall. See ya. A 2-run home run for Bobby Wilson. And the Yankee lead is now 6-3. So a long at bat for Bobby Wilson. He came into the game hitting 191. He's 2 for 2, and the Angels are back in this game.
It's amazing. The last 2 at bats, you've seen a lot of foul balls, and then finally you get a pitch out over the plate. You come into this inning 6-0, like total control of the LA Angels offense, and all of a sudden a couple good at bats, a home run at 6-3. You're back in the game.
So Dave Island has his say. So just like that, in an eye blink, what seemed like it was going to be a laugher has turned into a game now at 6-3. And we start with the top of the Angel lineup again, Eric Ibar. And a strike.
Once in a while you see a player that you don't know much about, and I heard you talk about him last night a little bit in Ibar, but boy, his glove and what he does in the field is impressive. And he added a couple hits yesterday, but I tell you, defensively, you can tell by just watching him play, he can handle 11.
Yeah, he's a good little player. He's a Mike Scioscia type player. Run the base as well. Good changeup. That's the kind you were talking about. Hurt your elbows.
Right.
Trying to hold up your swing and get out in front. All of a sudden you recognize, see that snap at the very end there? That's shake your elbows up.
And that one is served into center field, a base hit. So Vasquez has yet to retire a batter in the 5th.
I'll tell you what, that's a good at bat. He made an adjustment of that changeup. The first one he swung through looked like he tried to pull it a little bit. And you see he stayed on this exact same pitch, 76-mile-an-hour changeup, out over the plate, stayed with it, just drove it back up the middle.
And the Yankees get the bullpen working. Boone Logan begins to throw. So just like that, boom. 4 innings of shutout ball and then 4 straight hits and 3 runs. Here's Howie Kendrick.
It looks like he's leaning a little bit. A lot of those throwovers obviously come from the bench. Joe Girardi, Tony Pena, ex-catchers, love to try to read the runners. They call the pitch out. A lot of times when a runner will give away what it's going to do, sometimes you can just hold them a little bit more as a pitcher.
Those throwovers too actually give Boone Logan a little bit more time to warm up. Remember, after Kendrick, you've got Abreu, then Hunter, then Matsui. So you've got 2 of the next 3 hitters are left-handed batters.
Strike. Logan's about ready.
Well, Aguilar's got an even bigger lead now.
We told you that they don't steal against Vasquez coming into this game. 87 and a 3rd inning. So now it's 91 and a 3rd innings without a stolen base. Driven the other way and out of play.
He's got to get one of these balls that have been put in play to go at one of his fielders here. Get that double play ball. One of the certainly pitcher's best friend.
31 pitches this inning for Vasquez. So he came into the inning with 37 over the first 4 innings. Mike Pelfrey of the Mets 2 days ago threw 51 pitches in the top of the 1st inning. So the Met broadcasters came up with the stat that only 1 pitcher had thrown more pitches in a half inning this year, and that was Paul Maholm of the Pirates, threw 54. So now Vasquez is at 32, still nobody out. 51 at the 1st inning.
Aguilar kind of peeking in there. Every once in a while you can pick up signs. I mean, obviously as a base stealer, you want to try to run on an off-speed pitch.
Slow roller to Jeter, and they just get Kendrick for the first out as Ibar goes to 2nd. Al Leiter always says that they train pitchers like fighters, where you really train to throw 15 pitches per inning, and after that it starts to affect you, like a fighter's trained to fight 3-minute rounds. Now, if you fight more than a 3-minute round, you're going to feel it in your legs. So that's when pitchers can make mistakes as well.
You know, I've never heard of that. That's interesting. Some of your your real good pitchers, you get on one field and you train them to, Mariano, you take him out, train him to throw 8 or 10 pitches. Right. And then you get some of your younger kids who are going to have the longer innings and train them for 30 or 40, because your chances are before the year's over, you're going to have a couple tough innings. 15 pitches an inning. Is that the
15 to 20, yeah, because 15, times 7 innings, about 105 pitches. That's usually what you're supposed to throw when they start to get concerned.
Good footwork by Cervelli, making the play behind the plate, saving 90 feet. Target's low and away. He has to go all the way across the plate and pitch in the dirt as well. There's some good quickness.
One. Strike.
Good changeup.
Abreu doubled in the 4th inning, extending his hitting streak to 7 straight. And we told you he does very well against Vasquez. 25 hits in 78 at-bats and 10 home runs. And the 7 hits allowed by Vasquez is now Pinero's thinking, maybe I can get a win out of this. That's the most that Vasquez has allowed since May 27th in a game. 1-2. Outside, 2-2.
See how Vasquez has that changeup grip on every pitch, and then he slips it down and goes to a fastball or a curveball grip. Much like the split fingers, where the pitchers will go in there with that grip. Much easier to go to a fastball, but as a base runner, especially from second base, you can pick up that grip, but then he'll go to a fastball grip from it. The changeup grip, all the fingers on there. Kind of goes down to a fastball.
Runner goes to third. Throw to third. Got him. So Ibar gets thrown out when his team is down by 3. Good throw by Cervelli.
See Mike Scioscia wondering the same thing. We're down. You're already in scoring position. This is a great play if you're up. You try to put pressure on the defense, but Vasquez very hard to run on.
A-Rod kind of blocked the bag. Then he said, no base for you.
It would sound like, I heard the soup Nazi's back, too. I heard he's back. Did you hear that, Michael?
No.
Yeah, he's back in business. I heard it on the radio the other day. Flipping through the channels.
Did he go? Yes, he did. So Abreu down on strikes, and a quick comeback for Vasquez. 3 runs on 4 hits, nobody left. We're halfway through. Yankees up 6-3. Granderson will lead off against Joel Pinheiro. 6-3 Yankees lead, and the first pitch is a strike.
A big inning for Pinheiro. All of a sudden, you look at the scoreboard. He's back in the game. He's kind of been struggling now. Can he hold the Yankees down and give his team an opportunity to continue to get into this game?
The Yankees have scored 3 of the first 4 innings, so he's trying to get his act together.
And Granderson down on strikes. Big play in that top of the 5th was this play at 3rd. And let's take a look on the IOTV HD Super Shot.
A-Rod catches the ball, lays out, then lays in front of Ibar. He figures he's got the weight advantage here. Ibar came to an abrupt stop.
Yeah.
As A-Rod applies the tag.
Cervelli's throw, you cover there, and Cervelli's throw almost made him come into Ibar, but made for a good defensive play by blocking the bag.
And here is Cervelli. And he bunts down the 3rd baseline, but foul. Now, we always say, if you're going to gamble, you can't make the first out of 3rd, and you can't make the final out of 3rd. I mean, I guess the one that's acceptable is the 2nd out. And for those that are new to the game, the reason for that, and you shouldn't be doing that when you're down by 3, you have to make it. But the 2nd out is acceptable because if you get there, you can still score from 3rd on an out.
Yeah. But when you're losing,
right, it's not acceptable.
You've got to make it.
And the reason you can't make the first out is because they figure if you're at 2nd, you can get to 3rd on an out and still score on an out.
Mike Scioscia likes his team to be aggressive on the bases. In fact, all their minor league teams, I don't know if that was true this year, but certainly the year before, had at least 100 stolen bases. Because they want their guys to be able to run the bases and be able to steal bases.
And they're always the top team in the major leagues going 1st to 3rd.
Yeah.
They're very, very aggressive. And speaking of Scioscia, he has the best winning percentage of any manager against the Yankees during his time with the Angels. He's 58-64 against the Yankees in the regular season. Check that. Yeah, he's 54-44 against the Yankees. Terry Francona is 58-64. Grady Little was 18-20. And Jerry Manuel of the Mets is 21-23. Those are the 4 best winning percentages of managers against this Yankee team.
To complicate that stolen base, Abreu struck out the end of the last inning, right? I mean, it's very hard to steal 3rd base with a left-handed batter up there. Cervelli has an open look at 3rd base. The ball was away, makes for an easy play. So
that one is drilled to left field. Matsui back. He's going to turn and watch it go over his head and up against the wall. Cervelli gets himself a double. Well, time for another look at today's Toyota text ball. Once again, the question was, should 2 visits to the mound be charged without ever going back to the dugout? You've been texting us at 58772, and here's how you voted. Yes, 78%, no, 22%. Vast majority agree. A couple of people have texted me, though, and said that the rule was not interpreted the right way. You cannot make a 2nd trip to the mound with the same batter up, and if you do, the manager's supposed to be ejected. The pitcher's supposed to be on the mound to face that one more batter. And they made Mattingly take out Broxton.
And bring in George Sherrill, who gave up a hit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they're saying Mattingly should have been thrown out of the game.
And then Broxton should have been forced to face that batter that was still at the plate. The 1-0. High fly ball, left field. Matsui battles the sun, makes the play.
From what Bruce Bochy said yesterday, who called him on the rule, he was going to, he was going to, what do you call it?
Appeal?
Yeah, he was going to appeal and put the game under protest. There we go. So in other words, the Dodgers should have protested the game because the rule wasn't rolled out right.
If you I think the rule is 5081 or 508I. If you interpret the rule the way it's written, the Dodgers should appeal.
You notice how Michael pulled that rule?
Now, come on now. Is that just the luck of the draw? You're just throwing out some numbers there.
I studied the rule book, Paul.
Yeah.
Here's Jeter. He's 3 for 3 and the pitch is low.
This sounded like some bingo numbers to me, and he just wanted us to believe it.
You know, Paul, you just don't get these jobs by accidents. You know, they don't give them to chimps, all right?
See, all of a sudden, Pinero's starting to paint those corners a little bit. And, you know, you'll get a little shot of adrenaline when your team throws a 3 spot up there, gets you back in the game. G3 for 3 so far today. Let's see how he handles him this time.
By the way, I had the rule wrong. It's 8:06.
Bingo. I'm with you, though, Michael. I'm glad you know the rule. That's all that matters to me.
I'm amazed all the time. I wonder, because you're the one most recently retired, players usually don't know the rules.
There's a lot of rules, a lot of things that happen that you didn't come across, or you didn't really pay attention to it. And yet, if you went through, if you gave me an ABC quiz on every rule in baseball, I don't know that I'd be, I'd probably pass, but I don't know if I'd be getting an A or B on the test.
Right.
There's a ton of rules out there that everyday players don't come across.
Most of the rules that I've found over the years are just plain common sense. Yeah, it's the right thing that should be done.
See, that's why the one on Mattingly yesterday, that doesn't make sense, because it wasn't common sense.
No, but that's the rule. You don't
But it's
walk
not
off the
common sense.
mat.
But
Yeah.
I mean, he had 1/2 foot on the grass, so it just wasn't common sense. 3-2. Strike 3. Jeter down looking and not in love with the call. And he will tell Paul Emmel as much. So the double by Cervelli is wasted. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the 6th inning. Yankees are up by 3.
GMC presents Center Stage with Michael Kay. First Friday at 11, American soccer star Landon Donovan discusses the USA's incredible World Cup run. And next Wednesday at 11, Yankees favorite Andy Pettitte talks with Michael about his many years in pinstripes. It's 2 new Center Stage events only on Yes. Here we go to the top of the 6th inning with the Yankees ahead of the Angels by 3. And the cleanup hitter, Torrey Hunter, is going to lead it off. He's 0 for 2. And the first pitch is in there for a call strike.
You know, Kenny, when you read the promo for the 2 center stages,
Yeah.
Andy Pettitte center stage,
Yeah.
the largest crowd ever. I think we've done about 140, 150. And there were people around the block had to be turned away. as Hunter dunks one into left center field, and that's going to get past Granderson and go to the wall. And Torrey Hunter leads off with a leadoff double here in the 6th.
You know, last couple of innings here, you're starting to feel a momentum shift in this game, and that's why the bullpen's up.
Very confusing if you're managing here, don't you think, Kenny? You got a guy that's absolutely just got everything working. Got a 6-run lead, and all of a sudden, for some reason, you know, they seem to be on every pitch. He seems to be going into longer counts. And you wonder what has changed, and you don't see, you know, the selection of pitches, and all of a sudden they're fouling pitches off to get to good hitters' pitches where they were putting them in play in early counts at the beginning of the game. Try to figure out as a manager what has changed in my starting pitcher.
Here is Matsui. He's 0 for 2. Count 0-1.
So around the block for Andy Pettitte.
Yeah, of all the great Yankees, Roger Clemens, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Paul O'Neill, Andy Pettitte had the biggest crowd by far at Center State. Biggest, Paul.
Right.
High fly ball, right field, deep. Swisher, track, leaps. See ya! A 2-run home run for Matsui, and now the Yankee lead is down to 1. Just a disastrous turn for Javi Vasquez, coasting through 4, and then it's all falling apart in the 5th and now here in the 6th.
And he started him off with a breaking ball. Then he went to a fastball, tried to bust him in, and that ball just ended up over the middle of the plate. Hideki Matsui has found his home run stroke here the last couple days.
He's had one of those Remember Me series.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a stall right now. I don't think Girardi is. Well, maybe he'll let him face Napoli, but no, now he comes out of the dugout. And that's going to do it for Vasquez. It all fell apart quickly, inexplicably, and now he's out of the game. He can still get a win. He can't lose the game, but that's a disappointing performance for Javi Vasquez. He had never beaten the Angels, and now he's hanging on, trying to get a victory. So the 2-run home run by Matsui knocks out Vasquez. Matsui, 3 home runs in 5 games here this year. We'll be back. To the bullpen brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. Was it possible after 4 strong innings that Vasquez would lose it so quickly? Well, it is, because it happened, as Girardi now turns to David Robertson. Lee has turned his season around after a shaky start, 5.01. The ERA coming down. 36 strikeouts at 32 and a third innings.
These are important games when you go to your bullpen. If you can tough out and win these games that you're going to win with your bullpen, they become big wins. And the Yankees aren't accustomed to doing this because their starting pitching has been so good. Hideki Matsui. And I'm trying to think. The Angels came in here. With a lot of people just saying, they're not the same team. And if you break down why they weren't the same team, Hideki Matsui hasn't had the year they thought. Torrey Hunter got off to a great start. He's really slowed down. Abreu, his numbers are down a little bit. But if you look at what has happened this series, Hideki's had a big series. Torrey Hunter's swinging the bat well. Their starting pitching's been okay. And all of a sudden, this is a team coming into the year they thought was going to be good enough to win a pennant. So, three guys have offensively kind of shown up for this series, and they're a completely different team. Napoli, another guy. He hit a home run yesterday. So they're swinging the bats, they're scoring runs, and it's not the way they have been all year.
Napoli came into this game with .391 average lifetime against the Yankees. He's 0 for 2 today, and there's a strike. That was 27 for 69. Vasquez can get a win. Obviously, he cannot take the loss. He goes 5+, 9 hits, 4 runs. Didn't walk a batter, struck out just 1. Napoli swings and misses. Cervelli will tag him out, and there's 1 out. Well, one thing the Yankee pitchers have to know, and they have to realize this, and Hughes didn't do it yesterday, and Vasquez didn't do it today. With Sergio Mitre now replacing Andy Pettitte in the rotation, you can't expect him to give him much length. He hasn't been a starter in the last couple of years that often because of injuries. Everybody's going to have to step up and give more innings and save the bullpen just a little bit. And yesterday, Phil Hughes didn't, and today, Javi Vasquez didn't. In fact, in the last 3 games, the Yankee bullpen has had to pitch 17 and 2/3 innings. In the previous 9 games before that, they pitched 17 and a third total. They need the starters to give them length. And guys like Vasquez and Hughes, they're going to have to pick up the slack. And A.J. Burnett as well. CC Sabathia always gives length and gives quality outings. That's why he's 12 and 3 and an all-star. And we mentioned how Robertson has changed. On May 8th of this year, there's Sergio Mitre, will start on Saturday. Robertson had a 13.50 ERA. Since May 8th, his ERA is 2.52, and right now it's dipped to 4.96.
You see a wicked curveball, and you saw a strikeout against Napoli, and then a couple curveballs here, one for a ball. But the break on his curveball, you don't see that up and down curveball from a lot of people anymore. A lot of people have gone to that kind of slurve or a slider.
And Michael was talking about how he struggled at the beginning of the year with his breaking ball. He wasn't getting over, and then he was forced into fastball counts.
3-0. Fastball strike. So the Yankees know now that they're going to have to get 12 outs out of the bullpen to win this game. And they have to get those 12 outs before the Angels score a run. It's 6-5 Yankees lead on a hot, steamy Wednesday afternoon at the stadium. And there's a walk to Juan Rivera. Scott Shields pitched yesterday. He's up again today.
Scott Shields, his pitches every day.
Like everyday Eddie Guardado.
Yeah, is he still playing?
No.
He's gone?
He is gone.
Days are over.
He's still got his arm in a bucket eye, you see.
Joel Pinheiro did what Paul said earlier. He didn't cave in. He stayed out on the mound and battled, and now he's back in this game. Foul back. Good fastball. Franson late on it.
All of a sudden, a lot of the Angels are going to get back into that run mode. I know it's a one-run game, but Vasquez is out of the game now, and he kind of shuts down the run game. But now you're in the bullpen, a little slower deliveries. A little harder for Savelli to throw some base runners out, especially where that big old breaking ball can end up in the dirt.
That's a beautiful bunt. That's a base hit. So Franson with a bunt single. Well, don't miss the Yankees Rock On weekend this Thursday through Sunday. There will be great giveaways in each game, and the 2009 World Series trophy will be on display at Gate 2 for photo opportunities. For special ticket promotions, log on to Yankees.com, visit Yankee Stadium box office or all Ticketmaster locations. They remind you to rock on.
Yeah, Franson with the bunt single. Now, remember at the beginning of the year, the Angels wanted Brandon Wood to take over at third base after letting Sean Figgins go, but Brandon Wood got off to such a slow start that the Angels have installed Kevin Franson there, and he's done a decent job.
Bobby Wilson's really the home run that looked, really get them back into the game. And all of a sudden, the Angels seem like, Kenny, you said it a few innings ago, have the momentum. They're still down on the scoreboard, but seem to have that momentum, and things are going their way.
And now Dave Island has to talk with Robertson as he's fallen behind 2-0 on the number 9 batter, Bobby Wilson.
Yeah, Yankee fans might remember Wilson on the West Coast early this year. Mark Teixeira ran over him at home plate, and he had to go on the disabled list. Had a concussion. Teixeira just completely wiped him out in a play at home plate.
Mike Scioscia, even though it's his catcher, probably appreciated that one. I mean, Mike Scioscia probably as good as anybody in the game at blocking the plate. If you do it, sometimes this is going to happen.
Also sprained an ankle on that play. And Mike Scioscia said he had no problems with the way Teixeira went into home plate.
Wasn't a dirty play. Didn't really even go out of his way to hit him. Just kind of slid in with his shoulder. Trying to knock the ball away if it was a close play. And you can tell guys that are coming in to look for collisions or just coming in to try to be safe. And that it's good, clean, hard baseball.
The 2-1. Foul back.
So now the Angels actually have 3 catchers on their team with Jeff Mathis, Bobby Wilson, but Mike Napoli's taken over at first base in place of the injured Kendry Morales, who's going to be out for the rest of the year with a broken leg.
Napoli continues to swing the bat. He's going to keep running him out there.
He's playing pretty good first base too.
Strike 3. Wilson down looking.
I was just wondering, with a 2-2 count, and you got a couple guys on, if he has enough confidence in that curveball, but he's stuck with the fastball. A lot of times you'll freeze up that hitter when you're good. You got a good curveball, and 2 strikes, that hitter goes into that mode where you're looking for that curveball. Snuck a fastball right by him.
So 2 down. The tying runs at second base here in the 6th inning. 2 runs already in on the 2-run home run by Matsui. Robertson against Ibar. Ibar 2 for 3. Opponents hit just .238 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position against Robertson. Line drive, a base hit to left field. Motoring around third is Rivera. The throw is cut up by A-Rod. Throw to third. Not in time.
You know, Kenny, every once in a while from up here, you just see a lot of things go well on the baseball field. And, the cutoff was cut off. Jeter followed him. He was in his position. A-Rod was in his position. Everything went right. The only thing was the throw was a little high. Good throw down low probably has him. You know, with two outs, man on second, you're usually going for that. You take a chance, but you see how far he was. Does a good job of getting back.
See how far the third base coach, Dina Ebel, came down the line to stop him. You see it on Yesmo. Jeter had to reach up for the throw and then come back down with the tag. Rivera was able to get back in there.
Pitch to Kendricks outside. I'm a little bit surprised they held him up.
I am too. I mean, if you look at that throw, although it was cut, it was off target. Chances are he's going to score there. I think that, you know, with 2 outs especially, you take that chance. You make an outfielder make a good throw.
Rivera's lost a lot of speed since he came up with the Yankees. He's had some leg issues, but well, he was just chugging from second to third.
Yeah, especially with 2 outs, the ball's hit, you're gone.
Two and one.
And he got his secondary lead, and again, he took a peek back right there. I mean, you almost see guys run through that stop sign because they'll just, in their mind, they're scoring. And I think he would have. The big thing right there is to get that big secondary lead off the second base, so you have a good jump as soon as that ball's hit in 2 outs.
The 2-1. Now there's no place to put Kendrick. 3-1 with the bases loaded. Kendrick's a good hitter, too. And that runner at third is the tying run in this game. The Yankees led 6-0 after 4, and they are in danger of giving it all back. Boone Logan is ready. The 3-1. And now it's 3-2, so everybody's going to be going on the next pitch.
You see that the Angels have just absolutely worn down the pitchers. Now they're going to late counts, deep counts, drag bunts, running, putting the pressure on them. Fought their way back into this game.
The runners will go. 3-2, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Yankees lead by 1. Here's the payoff. Driven to right field, right at Swisher, and that'll do it. So the Yankees wiggle out of the 6th with a lead. 2 runs on 4 hits, and the bases left loaded. In part by J&R Music and Computer World and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. So we got ourselves a game as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And Joel Pinero's going, all right, this is good. It was now 6-0. Now it's 6-5. And Nick Swisher will lead out the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Yankees got to be in official tack-on mode now. Put some more numbers up there. Shift the momentum in the ball game.
Yeah, it takes a lot out of a team to fight back and get into a game, and you expend a lot of energy. They still haven't tied the game up, and you got to think, if you're one of the Yankees, if you throw up a couple more runs, then you get control of this game.
Get control back.
Control for good,
yeah,
but I think it'll become one of those games where the Angels just run out of time, and you just if you throw up another couple runs, I think that all of a sudden they'll realize that they'll look forward to that next series.
Swing and a miss. Swisher down on strikes. Now the thing about this game that has a different feel to it than Yankee games of the past, you've just used your most reliable relief pitcher other than Rivera. So now Girardi has to think, okay, how do I get through the 7th and the 8th inning with a 1-run lead? Who do I trust? Who out there do I trust? And I guess it's going to come down to Java pitching, and he's got to pitch well.
I think you've got that string of left-handed hitters too that you have to go to matchups and hope that your matchups go through. You're going to have the inning with Abreu, Hunter, and Matsui. 2 out of 3 lefties that you got to figure that Logan's going to be into the game at some point.
Grounded to first, and they finally retire Teixeira. He grounds out to first, and there's 2 away. There's Bo Logan. And that's going to bring up Alex Rodriguez. Alex is 0 for 3, sitting on 598 home runs, trying to become the 7th man in baseball history to hit at least 600 home runs. So he's 2 away. And there's a line drive caught on 1 hop by Ibar. He steadies, fires. What a play by the Angels shortstop to get Alex Rodriguez, as the Yankees are retired in order. 1, 2, 3. We played 6 here at the stadium. The New York Yankees 6 and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 5. Nice play by Ibar to end the inning. Eric Ibar with 3 hits. They've held Howie Kendrick hitless. Then you've got a double by Abreu, a double and a run scored by Hunter, a 2-run home run by Matsui, Napoli 0 for 3. So the two guys with the best averages against the Yankees lifetime, Kendrick and Napoli, have been shut down. But Rivera double, Franson an RBI and a run scored. Bobby Wilson, a 2-run home run. He has 2 hits as well. That's the Angel box score. Well, David Robertson got the 3 outs of the 6th inning after Vasquez was knocked out. Now they go to Boone Logan with 2 lefties coming up out of the next 3 batters. Those are Logan's numbers. Logan, the lone lefty in the Yankee bullpen, with Damaso Marte on the DL with a loose rotator cuff. The Verizon Wireless scoreboard 6-5, Yankees lead.
Never heard of that, a loose rotator cuff.
That's what he said it is. That was his diagnosis. It felt loose in there.
You tighten that thing up, huh?
I don't know.
Allen wrench.
Yeah, that'll work.
There's Damaso. Abreu 1 for 3 today. The 0-1. 1-1.
Talking to some people at home today, Michael, and Strasburg Mania is running into Cincinnati tonight.
Now, I heard that they're not sold out, though. It's going to be the biggest weekday crowd of the year, but they're not sold out.
Yeah, well, a lot of people vacationing in Cincinnati. But still, a lot of excitement in the air every time this kid takes the mound.
Where do they go, Kentucky?
Yeah, down to the lakes in Kentucky and Tennessee.
What's Kentucky, about 10 minutes from Cincinnati?
It's across the river.
Yeah.
Across the river.
I was thinking if you walked.
I live north of the city, so Michael, it's about 15 minutes from me. How's that?
All right.
The Cincinnati airport is actually in Kentucky, if I remember correctly.
Way into Kentucky.
Yeah.
And is it called the Cincinnati Airport?
I don't know.
What's the airport called?
Cincinnati, Covington, Cincinnati Airport, yeah. If you fly into Cincinnati, which you never do, Michael.
Right, I'm never
You're
invited.
flying into Kentucky. And
I'm never invited. A little dig there.
I've had you invited out on the deck for a barbecue. You didn't show. So you know what happened, Kenny? When we did the games in Cincinnati, I just brought it to him. I brought him ribs. I brought him Grater's ice cream. I brought it all to the booth for him.
Kenny, let's put it this way.
I got you.
We were doing the post-game shows for a postseason series when the beginning of Yes, and Paul was doing segments. He wouldn't let the cameras in his house.
No, that wasn't me. That was my wife. Yeah. Joe Viatone. Remember Joe?
Joe Vialone.
Vialone did the first interview.
That one's driven deep to left center. Granderson shading his eyes makes the play.
The first interview we ever did for the Yankees was right when I was traded over. So he comes, goes in the house, sets up all the gear, does the interview, leaves. Marks, grease marks all over the carpeting.
Really?
It was the last interview inside the house. So yes has always been out on the deck where it's more comfortable.
Who made that call? As if I don't know.
Like I said, I had absolutely nothing to do with it.
I can't get mad at Neville because that woman is a saint.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Here's Torrey Hunter.
She might be listening.
That's why she's even more of a saint.
Yeah.
But I extremely doubt that the pool was open today. The malls are open.
There's Jabba Chamberlain. The Yankees will have him pitch the 8th inning. We're in the 7th, 1 out. The heart of the order for the Angels. Pitch to Hunter is inside. When the O'Neills are in town, the lights in the Westchester Mall are just a little bit brighter.
That's right. Absolutely. If I break even on these trips, I'm doing real well.
Hey, are you traveling this season like the people in Cincinnati? Well, take the Yankees with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Count 1 and 2 on Torrey Hunter. And that one is lined to right field. It's a base hit. Playing it on one hop is Swisher. So Hunter is now 2 for 4. And that's going to bring up Matsui, and Matsui has done some job against the Yankees so far this year.
That was earlier this year. Jackie Robinson night at the stadium, and this is last night. Then another one today. I mean, he's not stopping at first base.
Now you have Boone Logan on the mound, but the Yankees know for 7 years that was not a good way to counteract Matsui. He hits lefties. Jeter used to say, just don't bring in lefties, but this year it has worked. Swing and a miss. Last year against left-handers, he hit 282 with 13 home runs. This year against left-handers, he hit 183 with 5 home runs. So the tying run is on first base. That's Torrey Hunter.
That pitcher left you to handle right. I mean, 95 on the outside corner after you just got busted inside. So they set him up to do anything he wants. He can come in off the plate. He can use his breaking ball.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Overpowered Matsui.
Get the feeling Java's coming in here. Napoli has been really tough on lefties this year.
Again, he stuck with the fastball, 95 miles an hour, just up a little out over the. That's a good 0-2 pitch for me. You know, it's a little up, it's a little out, but it's close enough for the hitter to think it's a strike.
Well, Boone Logan does a nice job. He gets the 2 lefties that he has to get. He departs, and they will call on Java Chamberlain. They're going to ask him to get 4 outs and lead it to Mariano. So Java against Napoli when we get back. Stay right here.
America's Sub Shop by the Other Guys, starring Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, in theaters August the 6th, and by Heineken Light. See the light.
Well, the Yankees see Java Chamberlain on the mound, and he's going to try to get Mike Napoli. And Java, his numbers not where he wants them to be. 40 games this year, 1-4 with a 5.77 ERA. 39 innings, 45 hits, 45 strikeouts, and 14 walks. Java's last appearance on July 18th, an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, and he threw 30 pitches.
Well, the reason why Joe Girardi went to the right-hander because Mike Napoli hits .358 against left-handed pitching and .221 against right-handers. So that's a statistical move.
Yankees looking for more consistency from Java Chamberlain. they need a guy to grab the 8th inning by the throat and say, this is my inning. Napoli's 0 for 3 today. Fly ball to center, foul out to first, and a strikeout. Runner goes, and no one's covering, and a stolen base for Torrey Hunter, so the tying run in scoring position.
Here's the scouting report on Mike Napoli. As we told you, prior to today, he was hitting .391 against the Yankees. He had the most interleague home runs, 7 of them, during the course of this year, and he averages a home run every 5 games. It's the top ratio for any catcher in the big leagues. Second on that list is Jorge Posada, who averages a home run every 6 games.
I have a bigger question. How do you allow Torrey Hunter to steal without a throw?
I just looked back. Something was going on. I looked back, and next thing I know, nobody's covering.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's a tying run.
I don't understand what just happened unless Torrey Hunter saw something that...
He got a great jump, number 1.
But nobody even covered. I mean, they never looked at first base. So now Napoli doesn't have to get a double. He has to get a single to tie the game.
And did he get a jump? He just said, I'm going.
Yeah, that looks like one of those defensive indifferences right there.
Wow. The Yankees have to hope that doesn't bite them. Opponents are 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts against Java. And the 3-0. There's a strike. Sometimes with hard-throwing right-handers out of the bullpen, you can steal easily on them, but that was a little bit too easy.
Yeah, high leg kick, and they're worried about the hitter. You can see Joe Girardi just kind of shaking his head. He's just counting those outs off the scoreboard.
Foul back and the count 3-2.
And hopefully send the Angels on their merry way to Texas.
I'll tell you what, that 3-0 pitch to Napoli he took was a fastball, and I was just about to say, you know, that's the type of hitter he is. He'll catch up to any fastball. Dangerous pitch, and I think Cervelli thought the same thing. He threw a little slider there, just enough to keep Napoli off of it. A breaking ball.
That wasn't a particularly good one, though.
Nope.
All right, what do you do with your job here? Fastball or slider?
Well, you got a base open, so if you haven't really thrown a good slider yet, but down in the dirt, you're going a breaking ball right here.
That's exactly. No, he went with the fastball.
But it was down.
And it was down, so a walk to Napoli.
That whole at bat, you know, you're pitching, especially when you get behind in the count, especially 3-0, you're pitching differently with Torrey Hunter on second base.
So here's Juan Rivera. Today, grounded to second, doubled and scored, and then walked. Hunter is at second. Napoli is at first. Yankees are leading 6-5. We're in the top of the 7th inning here at the stadium.
Can you ever get the feeling that just because there's a base open, I mean, the pitcher almost uses it as a crutch? They don't go after anybody. It's always a 3-ball, 2-strike count, and then they pitch around the guy.
It's like they're going perfect pitch,
yeah,
perfect pitch, or if it's not perfect, it's going to be a ball.
I mean, when you're brought in, especially if you're Java Chamberlain, from the bullpen to face a guy, you know, you're expecting to get that guy out, and all of a sudden, you know, the base becomes open and you become passive in your thought process of, you know, don't make a mistake, instead of aggressively going after guys. And, you know, it's in the back of the hitter's mind, too, that base open. All of a sudden, if you're behind in the count, you know, you just give them first base.
So Rivera down in the count 0-1. Angels are down 6-5. Chop slowly toward third is going to be a tough play, and there is no play. An infield single for Rivera, and the bases are loaded.
Well, when you're hot, you're hot. Rivera has a couple of hits today. He came in hitting .350 in the month of July, and he kind of chops this one off home plate. And with A-Rod playing back at third base, it's going to be an infield single as long as he didn't fall down running to first base. And that puts a little more pressure on Java Chamberlain. No place to put the hitter at the plate now. Kevin Franson, he has to get him out.
Franson is 2 for 3 today. RBI single, also a run scored, and had a bunt single in the 6th. Bases loaded. That one is chopped to A-Rod. He's going to step on third, and that'll do it. So they get out of trouble here in the 7th. No runs, 2 hits, and the bases are left loaded. At the end of 6.5, time for the 7th inning stretch at the stadium. Yankees lead 6-5, but we will stay right here.
At home and around the globe. Thank you. Now Keith Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Is this a referendum today on the way the bullpen's going to work? This is a big, big spot, I think, this next inning for Jabba Chamberlain. You know what? That's an interesting point, Jack, and we'll talk to Bob and Jack and Kim in the postgame show, but Joe Girardi seems dead set against using Mariano more than one inning. This is a game the Yankees would like to have, but I would be surprised if they use Mariano in the 8th. So a lot falls on Jabba Chamberlain to get those 3 outs. Well, Yankees can make it easier now by giving them some breathing room here in the 7th inning. Scott Shields takes over. Joel Pinheiro, 6 stubborn innings. He was on the precipice of getting slapped around, but he persevered, hung in there, and just kept it at 6.
Shields worked here last night. You can see his numbers on the year. A few too many walks. But he worked a scoreless inning last night. Struck out a couple, walked one, gave up a hit.
Swing and a miss as Cano down on strikes. On the Verizon Wireless scoreboard, 6-5. And, you know, Paul, you mentioned this. I think his teammates have more respect for him in a game like this than if he was just coasting through eight innings.
Well, you give up 6 runs early like he did. It's very easy to just, take the attitude that this isn't my day, hand it to the bullpen. You know, his body language didn't change. He stayed out there. And again, you're in a game that you've had an opportunity the last 2 innings to have a lead, but you respect guys that battle through it, give yourself your team a chance to win, and you didn't burn the whole bullpen.
Yeah, they got a big series coming up, a 4-game series with the Texas Rangers, the team they're chasing in the American League West.
4-game series, I never liked them. They're very hard to win, very easy to split. So, if you're the team chasing to go into a 4-game series, you figure you got to try to win 3 out of 4, which is very difficult when you're going into another home ballpark. Can't say enough about what that guy Mike Scioscia has done for this organization.
High fly ball, deep right center. Hunter back, looking up. See ya! A big, long home run for Juan Miranda, and the Yankees now lead 7-5. Well, that falls under the heading of very important. That's his 4th career home run, his 3rd home run this year.
That had that height that you don't see a lot of, towering home run, big home run too. The Yankees haven't scored in a while. Obviously, everything's been the Angels' side, and they've had some opportunities, but the Yankee pitching, and Jabba got a big out when he needed, Robertson got a big out when he needed it, and now you've got a 2-run lead, which feels like a much bigger cushion than that 1-run lead.
Well, we talked about needing a momentum shift because it had been on the Angels side for quite a few innings here. And then Miranda. Reed Shields is right. You have the right to remain silent.
Tell by his body language, there was a feeling where that one wasn't coming back.
And Granderson slaps from the left field for his 2nd base hit of the afternoon.
Torrey Hunter gets the last look at this one. Yes, he delivered it to the bullpen.
That was priority mail. Oh, that wouldn't be FedEx, would it? That's U.S. mail. Yankees have always liked Miranda's bat, and this is an opportunity for him. Nick Johnson remaining out. If Juan Miranda can show some power, spot for him to get some playing time.
Granderson's got the speed. He's got 7 stolen bases without being caught. He might build another run here. Cervelli makes pretty good contact with the bat. Now the count's in Cervelli's favor. He might see something happening here.
Again, that 2-run lead gives you the opportunity as a manager to do more things like that. Hit and run, steal bases. Sometimes as a manager in a 1-run game, or if you're down too much, you feel kind of handcuffed. You don't want to run yourself out. There you go.
Oh, just off the glove of a leaping Kendrick, and it trickles into right. Granderson goes to 3rd, a single for Cervelli, his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
The reason why you can spell something like that out, because now you've got momentum with the home run. You want to try and keep the pressure on. So the runner goes, and just off the glove of Howie Kendrick. If he is Cano's height, this is a double play, but he's not. Slows it down. Granderson's on his way to 3rd.
Gardner, number 11.
Well, 1 man out, and now here's Gardner. And with a runner on first base and a runner at 3rd, the Angels have to bring the infield in because they're thinking we can't double up Gardner. So we can't play a double play depth, and we've got to get the runner at 3rd. Slaps it the other way. strike. Gardner not liking that.
Ooh. Paul Emmel came right back at him. Oh my goodness!
He just threw him out.
I told you, you get the quick hook in this day and age. We saw it last night with Joe Girardi getting tossed out, and he didn't think he should have been thrown out of the game. And now he doesn't even get a chance to protect the hitter.
And Paul Emmel is the one who threw out Girardi yesterday. He was the first base ump.
You know what? You get the feeling that Joe's going too.
Yeah, I think he's had enough with this crew. I think he had problems in Toronto. I think he's had problems here. And I think he's had enough.
He said, I've been thrown out as Yankee manager 9 times. He said, and I've earned 8 of them. He said, yesterday there was no reason to throw me out. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything, a curse word. He goes, I should never have been thrown out. So now Tony Pena goes and gets Joe Girardi. And now Joe Girardi's got to send up a pinch hitter with an 0-2 count where Gardner's supposed to be. And it's going to be Colin Curtis who has to inherit an 0-2 count.
Now, we don't know what Gardner said.
You know, he didn't draw a line in the sand. He didn't do anything. You know, you have a right as a major league hitter to question a call. It is such bullcrap when something like that happens.
But you got to be careful what you say.
You know, you're in the middle of a close game.
If you use any of the magic words, you're going to go.
Oh, there's no doubt. But, you know, Joe last night said he didn't use any of them. Derek Jeter said, but, I mean, what do you do?
And I don't see Gardner just saying stuff like that.
It really wasn't animated. I mean, he wasn't jumping up and down or screaming and yelling. Sometimes I think that these umpires, they just take it too far.
The 0-2 upstairs, so Curtis pinch hitting for Gardner. Now, if you saw Jeter, he mouthed the words, it's horrible, because he got into an argument with Emmel in the 5th on a call third strike.
How do you get out of the way of that?
The ball was tracking, wasn't it?
You know, I know the umpires want to keep the game going smoothly and as quickly as possible, but I don't know if you agree with me, Michael. These hooks are way too quick.
They are quick.
Way too quick.
I know the umpires don't want to be abused, but also they have to realize that people come to see the players, not the umpires throw people out. I watched that Met-Giant game on Sunday. I could not believe how bad the umpiring was there in one inning. I mean, they blew 3 calls. I mean, they blew 3 calls terribly.
One that would have won the game for the Giants.
Yep. This is right before Curtis got ejected, or Gardner got ejected. That one is driven deep to right field. Colin Curtis, see ya! A 3-run home run for Curtis. And the Yankees are putting it away. They lead 10-5 on Colin Curtis's first big league home run.
Just right on the bench, unloose, all of a sudden somebody gets thrown out of the game. You're at the plate with an 0-2 count, and you end up with a pinch hit home run, first of your career.
And now they want to give Colin Curtis his first curtain call. It'll be a Colin Curtis call.
I don't know what to do.
And they're smiling all the way back to Washington. That's where his family is, probably watching on TV. A little early morning, early afternoon at this point. As Jeter fouls it back.
What a turn of events.
He really spanked that one. On the line. Look at that smile.
When Gardner's up there, he has no idea that he's going to be hit.
Absolutely not.
And remember, he inherited an 0-2 count on Gardner. So the Yankees have wrested momentum back from the Angels. And now what was once a 6-0 lead that had gone to 6-5 is now 10-5.
You might have seen a first where a player gets thrown out of the game during at bat and another player comes up and hits a home run.
The reason you might have seen it first because that's hard. You didn't even have a bat in your hand. You're just sitting and enjoying the game like some stand or one of the fans in the upper deck. The next thing you know, you're up there with an 0-2 count against a pretty good relief pitcher. You know, back to where we were, Brett Gardner should still be in the game. I mean, he turned away. He actually said something with his head turned to the umpire.
Slow roller toward Kendrick. And they just get Jeter. So Jeter's 3 for 5.
Here's right fielder, number 33, Nick Swisher, number 33.
They're trying to get the ball for Colin Curtis.
I think they got another. He's got another ball in his hand there to trade. And no, he doesn't. Just give me the ball.
That's right.
Maybe some dealing here.
The Yankees.
Count 0-1.
Yankees got plenty to deal with. You know, Derek Jeter ball, a crack bat.
Shaking Paul O'Neill's hand.
Oh, yeah, that'll get him nothing. Another offer.
Napoli fields Swisher's ground ball, and that'll do it. But 2 kids from the Yankee farm system have given the Yankees more of a lead. A home run by Miranda. Then Brett Gardner gets thrown out. And speaking of out, Colin Curtis hits one out. It's 10-5 Yankees. That's what we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772, or you can vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Mark Teixeira, number 2, Robinson Cano, number 3, Derek Jeter, and number 4, the pinch hitter extraordinaire, Colin Curtis, who just hit his first big league home run. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply.
Curtis is now 4 for 8 as a pinch hitter with 6 runs batted in.
There's Bobby, or Meiser Asturias pinch hitting for Bobby Wilson. And now Joppa Chamberlain has much more breathing room. The 0-1. And there's a base hit through the left side of the infield for Myceris Torres. So here's Ibar. Now, do the Angels just say, okay, that's it, we're heading to Texas, or do they continue to fight back? Knowing a Mike Scioscia team, they probably continue to fight back. And there's a strike. Ibar today, 3 for 4. 3 singles. Tough little player. And a strike.
It definitely does make Joe Girardi's decision easier with Java in the 8th there, but I agree with you, Michael. I don't think Mariano was even going to get up and get loose in the 8th. I think that he was going to go with Java, try to, even if it was a 1-run game, go get through the 8th to get to Mariano in the 9th.
The 0-2. Strike 3, snap throw to first. Back in time, so Ibar down looking. Time now for the Land Rover drive of the game. Why get a car when you can own a Land Rover?
We just saw it. It's Colin Curtis. Line drive into the seats in right field. 3-run homer. First major league home run.
Kenny, you remember your first major league home run?
Yes, I do.
Who was that against?
Bill Stoneman. Kept me in the big leagues.
There's Kendrick. Fouled the other way. How about you, Paul?
Yeah, actually, mine was a pinch hit also, but it wasn't in the. I didn't get called off the bench to 0-2. It was a pinch hit against Kevin Gross.
Kevin Gross.
Kevin Gross. Yeah, he hung a curveball.
Bomb. You knew it right away.
You know, you're so excited. You hope you didn't mistake yourself in thinking you hit one and didn't. But yeah, you don't forget that. I remember driving home that day alone and just thinking over and over again, I just hit a home run in the major leagues. You know, and it's good memories.
So that was at Riverfront.
At Riverfront Stadium, yeah.
You know, we both hit home runs off of pitchers who threw no-hitters in the big leagues.
That one is laced into right center field. It is a base hit. It's going to get past Granderson and go to the wall. His Torres will go to third, and Kendrick is at second with a double, and the Java's ineffectiveness continues.
Designated hitter, Abreu.
Mariano beginning his loosening up procedure. So Java's come in, and he's allowed 3 hits and a walk. Getting a little cloudy here at the stadium as Francisco Cervelli just gave his sunglasses to the ball boy. No glare right now. And we mentioned earlier there is rain in the forecast.
Why would you want to mention it?
Just trying to keep people in the loop. Just trying to keep people in the loop. Here's Abreu. And he tries to pull an outside pitch and grounds it to first. Teixeira steps on the bag. Scoring is Torres. Moving to third is Kendrick. Now the Yankee lead is 10-6.
Yeah, now you're just in charge of erasing outs on the board. Just get them off. Take away their chances.
Yeah, when you start counting them on one hand, Kenny, you're getting close to that. You know, you need 3 or 4 outs, 5 outs. You know, that's good chances for the 5-run, 4-run lead.
Here's Torrey Hunter. He's 2 for 4. Runner at third, 2 outs. Off-speed pitch. Hunter swings and misses. Mariano begins the throw. Java has now allowed 26 base runners in his last 11 2/3 innings. Strike. The velocity's still there, 95 miles an hour. It's about location. So, breaking ball and fastball to work to 0-2. Now, Hunter has to protect the plate. Kendrick's at third with 2 outs. And the pitch. He chases a high fastball. So, Hunter swings and misses. In the 8th, 1 run, 2 hits. 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees up 10-6. Brought to you by McDonald's. There's a lot of hits in there. How about 8 for the first 3 batters? 3 by Jeter, 3 runs scored. 2 by Swisher, 3 for 4 for Teixeira with 2 doubles, 3 ribbies, and a run scored. Alex Rodriguez is driven in a run, but no hit. Brett Gardner 0 for 3, but Colin Curtis pinch hitting for Gardner. Pinch hit a 3-run home run. You got a home run by Cano, a home run by Miranda, 2 for 4 for Granderson, and 2 for 4 for Cervelli. (10-6). Yankees lead. Got a couple of changes for the Angels. New pitcher is the right-hander Rich Thompson. And he is going to face Teixeira.
Look at those numbers. It hasn't been a pitcher's day. 30 hits, 26 runs.
30 hits, and we don't have any of them.
Nothing.
It's Torres who pinch hit, takes over for Kendrick at second, and a new catcher is Mathis behind the plate, take over for Wilson. Remember, it's Torres had pinch hit for Wilson. 3 for 4 today. Teixeira is now hitting .390 with 17 ribbies in 16 games in July. Did that just go up a bit? No, a nice play by Rivera.
Had to reach for that a little bit. Took hit his A swing on it, but still hit it well. A little overspin, ball coming down, and Rivera, who plays very deep in the outfield anyway, makes the catch. Up against the wall.
What part of the wall? Who but W.B. Mason? Here's Alex Rodriguez, still sitting on 598 home runs. Now Alex has 67 home runs against the Angels, the most he's hit against any team. Of his 598 home runs, 364 different pitchers. So a lot of victims. Strike. There's Rich Thompson going to be another one. Now remember, Kyle Davies is starting this weekend for the Royals, and he hit his 500th home run against Davies right here at the stadium. High fly ball, right field. Rivera will make the play for the second out. So Alex 0 for 5 today. Well, after the last out, keep it here on Yes for the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry, they're back in the studio with highlights and analysis and also a look around the rest of the majors. Plus, Kimberly Jones gets the team's reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up later. It's only on Yes.
Jack on the postgame.
Oh, yeah.
First class.
Here is Cano's been intentionally walked twice, struck out once, and then a home run in the third. Count 1-0. So Cano now has 10 intentional walks this year. Kenny, in '83, you led the American League with 18. So they were intentionally walking you to get to Murray? Or was that to set up the double play because he didn't have great speed?
Not that year. What happened was that was the year that Cal Ripken Jr. took over the third spot in the lineup and I was dropped down.
Okay.
So it got to the point where they thought the hitters behind me. So I got walked a lot that year.
Gotcha.
Cal, they moved him to the third spot and he was the MVP.
All right, now he led the league. I'm going to give you a stat. He led the league with how many?
18, I think.
18. Barry Bonds was walked intentionally in 2004. 120 times.
Wow.
Ryan, did you misquote this? That's true. 120 intentional walks. Wow. Huh?
One of the times in 2004 he was intentionally walked by Buck Showalter with the bases loaded.
I remember that. Next guy lined out, looked like a genius, right?
Yes, he did. That one is a fly ball to center field. And Torrey Hunter shades his eyes, and he fights it right into his glove for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning for Rich Thompson and the Angels. Last licks coming up for the Angels. They trail by 4, 10-6 Yanks. Presented by Yankee Steiner. Francisco Cervelli and Hideki Matsui discuss some of their favorite Yankees moments. Plus, one lucky Yankees fan gets hooked up with some incredible memorabilia. Memories of the Game, presented by Yankee Steiner, tonight at 10, only on Yes. Well, the Yankees trying to hold on in a wacky game. A lot of hits, a lot of runs. Yankees lead 10-6. It's not a save situation with the Yankees up by 4, but they call on Mariano Rivera to get the final 3 outs of this game. Those are the numbers: 34 strikeouts in 35 and 2/3 innings, 23 base runners in 35 and 2/3 innings.
Now, this is one of those at-bats where you've rooted for this guy for the last 6 or 7 years while you're a Yankee, and now you walk up to the plate and you're like, this is going to be a joke, because you know how tough he is on lefties.
So you think it's a no chance one for Matsui?
It doesn't match up real well.
Let's put it this way, he knows what's coming.
All right, let's see if Paul is handicapped this well. The first pitch is a strike. Matsui with a 2-run home run in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 4. He has 3 home runs here at the stadium this year.
I'm even going to further handicap this and say this could easily be a broken at bat. Oh, there he's doing him a favor and going away.
Well, he's really not going out on a limb. He breaks everybody's bat.
Did you ever hit against Mariano BP?
In spring training,
yeah.
You took a couple hacks when you're not real loose, and I'm like, that's enough.
There's a strike, 1 and 2. That's enough.
You're supposed to be getting your confidence up in spring training, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not real quick right out of the chute in spring training anyway. It's not a pitch you want to cutter in, you want to handle right there.
And the pitch. Tapped right back to Rivera. 1 away. He kept his bat intact.
Yeah, they threw the ball away to him. They showed him the cutter in and then actually threw the ball away to him. Hideki will bail on some pitches he wants to try, but you see that ball's away.
Rivera came on to get the final out on Sunday, threw 1 pitch. And now he's got 1 out here in the 9th, and Napoli at the plate. Count 1-0. Napoli's 0 for 3 with a walk. Fly to center, fouled out to Teixeira, struck out in the 6th, and walked in the 7th. Mariano's last 21 appearances, 22 in the 3rd innings pitched, 9 hits, 3 walks, 1 run, 23 strikeouts, 0.40 ERA. That one has popped up, really up there. Cano in shallow center puts it away, and the Angels are down to their final out. So the Yankees are about to split with the Angels. The Angels will travel to Texas for a big 4-game set. The Yankees stay right where they are, and they'll have 4 games against the Kansas City Royals. So the Yankees open the homestand with 2 out of 3 against their closest pursuers, the Tampa Bay Rays, and one of their longtime tormentors, the Angels, like they're about to split 2. Here's Juan Rivera. Pitch inside.
This will be the last regular season game between the Angels and the Yankees. Looks like they're going to split the season series.
That one's fouled out of play.
And that would go only 8 games between these two this year. That'd be 4 and 4.
You went over how many times they have Texas left on the schedule, and that's the one team that they're chasing. So how they play head-to-head against Texas will probably be the way their season ends.
14 games.
14 games. You know, you go in and split with 14 games. Texas isn't going to lose. You're probably going to lose. You go in and, you beat them 10 out of 14 times. You've got an opportunity to win that division by just going head-to-head.
Crowd of 47,521, most of them standing, looking for the strikeout from Rivera to end this game. 30 hits, 16 runs, Yankees up 10-6, the 1-2. He struck him out. A 1-2-3 inning for Mariano Rivera, and the Yankees win 10-6. So yesterday, Yankees lose 10-2. Today, with the help of Colin Curtis's pinch hit 3-run home run, his first homer in the big leagues, they win this one 10-6. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. Javi Vasquez gets a win, and that is very odd, Kenny, because he inexplicably lost it after 4 innings, but the Yankee bullpen did the job.
They certainly did. Bullpen got the job done. Vasquez was cruising, and then all of a sudden, he just lost the control of the bus, and the Angels got themselves back in the ball game, but the bullpen held the Angels down. The Yankees added some runs at the end. There's the follow-through on the last pitch of the game. Mariano, in a non-save situation, gets a strikeout to end it. And
now Colin Curtis not only gets his first big league home run in a pinch hitting appearance, but he gets to spend some time with Kimberly Jones. Kim?
He does, but that's not his highlight today. Colin Curtis, how did you do that?
I have no idea. I was just sitting around watching the game, and all of a sudden Gardy got tossed out, and I get a chance to go up there, runner on third. I was just kind of trying to get him in, and battled back in the count and got a pitch to hit, and then from there it was just kind of whirlwind, but it was a lot of fun.
You will always remember your first home run, right? Every bit of it.
Yeah, I won't forget that one, that's for sure.
Take us into the dugout as Gardner starts to argue. Like you said, he gets thrown out. What is the conversation? Who's calling your name, or what's going on?
Well, Pena looked at me and said, "Cece, you ready to hit?" I guess so. So, I went out there and, hit the home run. So that's exciting. I was pumped up. All the guys were pumped afterwards. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great win.
As a pinch hitter, you have great numbers, 4 for 8, 6 RBIs, but that was no ordinary pinch hit. Yeah. Down 0-2 to step into the box. What was your mentality besides trying to get that runner in from third?
Well, it's the first time I've ever done that. So, it's a little bit new, but, I was just anything close I was going to swing at, I guess. Because I don't know if he's going to start me off with a slider or something like that, but he threw a couple balls. I got back in the count, and I could look for a fastball, and, that's what I ended up getting.
We talked to you in Arizona. What has the past month been like for you, Colin Curtis?
It's been a lot of fun. We've been up here. We've been winning, playing good baseball, and, every chance I get to help the team, I'm loving it. And, I couldn't ask for anything more. It's been exciting.
First curtain call as well, and it looked like your teammates were helping you know exactly how to handle that, right?
Yeah, they were like, you got to get out there. I didn't know where I was supposed to go out or, what I was supposed to do, so they were kind of pushing me towards the gate, and I don't think I'll forget that one.
What a great story and a great day. Colin, thank you.
Hey, thank you very much.
We love this stuff, Michael, don't we?
Absolutely. Colin Curtis with a dramatic 3-run pinch hit home run, his first home run in the big leagues, his first curtain call, and the Yankees get a win, and they match their season high water mark of 25 games over 500. Boy, there's a lot of reason to be jumping up in the air if you're Colin Curtis.